Peace, peace. We are
Great.
live.
I hear you. Great day to all.
Great day. The
How's it
summer of
be?
transformation. The conversation continues. I don't want to say another conversation or another episode. I want to say the conversation continues because it's all relevant. It all leads into one giant story. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
the summer of transformation continues with my man Derrell Carter. Actually, Derrell Carter is backed by popular demand, I have to say. Um, because a lot of people hit me up and it was like, "Yo, who's that one dude you had on? Bring him back on." Like, I like his energy. I like his energy. So I was like, you know
That's
what?
beautiful.
I was like, I'm just gonna pop up every once in a while with my man Darrell. You know what I'm saying?
I'm down with it because if you was still up here, I'd be doing it in front of you anyway.
I
Every,
know, I know.
every time we get together, we should be recording it.
Every time. If you're
Yep.
coming in, say peace, say what's up. I can't see who's coming in, but if you start commenting and you say what's up or peace, let me know you're watching. Then I'll definitely shout you out. And thank you for coming in. Share this live. Share this live. Get it out
Yep.
there to more people. But
Yeah.
yes. So today, so how you doing, bro? I want to start it out. How you
Man,
doing?
I'm
Doing
I'm
good?
having a wonderful day as always, man. The weather was just phenomenal, man. I mean, if I was to put money down on a good day, this would have been one of them. So it was one of them days for me, and I did everything I wanted to do today. So truly, I'm living in that great world again.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, I'm at the studio right now, getting ready to
That's
pop off
pretty
some
well.
new designs.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I figured, man. I just got done with a long day, but it was a great day. You know what I mean?
I
And
do.
uh and I figure, you know, I'm gonna keep popping on going live. I haven't went live in a while and I wanna get consistent with it. So, you
Okay,
know,
I'm with
so
it.
you're the guy I call in a pinch to come on with me and just talk, just have conversation about the conversations we always have. You know what I'm saying? Just get it out there to more people, to help a lot of people during this transformation
That
because
sounds wonderful to me.
it's not just one person's job. It's not anybody's job really to transform anybody. All we can do is just get on here and offer as much motivation as possible. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
and
And
share many perspectives.
many perspectives. That's it.
That's
And
that's the goal of this. Everybody can have their own perspective. Just make sure it's coming from a place of love.
that's it. That's beautiful. Um, so what I wanted to talk about is I wanted to talk about balance. Okay, that
Okay.
was wanted to be my topic today. Because you know I'm in a transformation period. I would have to say of my life right now. Okay,
Okay.
uh, most of my journey, I would have to say, was more spiritual than anything. Being a creative and trying to connect with that higher part of yourself. Most of it's been like a spiritual journey. You know what I mean?
I
So
do.
in that process, when you're becoming spiritual, uh, I tend to not get into so much of the business side. So the business side is where I've been slacking most of my life. I've always been an entrepreneur. I've always known how to make money. I've always been a creative. Okay, but the two wasn't translated, and it's not because of a lack of effort. Okay, I would say it was more. Uh, I didn't want those things. I didn't want the physical things in reality, and more like I was trying to disconnect from those things. You know what I mean? Stay out of the stay out of the government books, stay out of the way, stay out of the credit reports, stay no credit cards, all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Which actually ends up being a great thing spiritually, but business wise, it can really hurt. You know what I'm saying? It can really hurt. So I was trying to find my balance in that. So right now, at this point in my life, I'm switching up, going the opposite way, the other way, which is getting into business and getting in more. Uh, I've always been into the computers. Let's just say that. But I had a love hate relationship with it because I wanted to disconnect and I didn't like social media. and I wanted to go more inside to discover my true self. You know what I'm saying? And that takes a lot of disconnection. You know what I'm saying?
I do
Um.
understand that.
So.
Yeah.
So
I
let me.
actually come from the same perspective as you on that.
Yeah.
I've been a creator all my life, and the business side has not been as equally successful. Um,
Mm,
Sometimes I wish that, sometimes I draw somebody into my life to where they can help take care of that part, and I take care of this part, and we could blow up. Um,
mm,
you know, but now I have the understanding in my life that we can zip in and out of the matrix by just learning how to do it like the I would say more financially intelligent by getting some of these trust accounts and
yes.
allowing the trust accounts to control the businesses and everything that we own, and then
Mm,
we can still stay undercover as long as we want, because we will truly own nothing.
right.
We'll run it
That's the
all.
goal. And that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
To have that, it's a balance. It balances itself out. The goal is to get financially free, right? And what do we
Sort
mean
of
by
almost being
financially
sovereign.
free? It's not like you don't have any pay. You don't have to pay anything, right? The more money
Yes.
you make, it's just about having the time so you can connect with your inner self and you can do those things that you like to do. Travel, have some experiences, be able to get out in nature and go different places and go into the jungle and go into the woods and go hiking and go grounding. A lot of us don't have that option to do that. A lot of us are in the grind of the 9 to 5, and it's actually worse if you have your own business. If you ask me, it actually takes
It
a lot
can.
more time if you're owning your own business. So it's actually a balance that we're always working on, whether we know it or not. I always tell people I got one foot in the matrix, and one out. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah, we could probably upscale our business and get some business loans and put a focus on something like that to where we got more financial funding. If we do something like that early in the game, then we can actually skip the part that, when you own the business, you're working hard and you can already have a few workers and still you're just a controller for a while, almost on an entrepreneurship type view.
Right,
So
right,
we could just take that view instead of just taking the business owner. Because with the business owner, that means if you're sick, the business is not working.
right, right, right,
So we
right.
have to see it as an entrepreneur. If we want to get in the matrix and still stay stealth,
Yeah,
we gotta look at it as eventually somebody else is running this.
right.
Yeah.
And
So
and uh and I yeah, absolutely. And then we talked about my love and hate relationship between AI. You know what I'm saying?
oh
How
yeah, yeah.
AI So AI does make things a lot easier. You know what I mean? And I,
Yes.
and if you're out there watching, just I don't hate computers, I don't hate social media, but it's just like it does take me away from my spiritual journey. Being on the phone, having my phone around me 24/7 because I don't want to miss any business opportunities. When I'm on my spiritual path, I'm actually the opposite of all of that. Um,
Yes.
I actually taught computers for kindergartners for years. You know what I'm saying? That was one of the things that I did. iPads and showing them how to code and stuff like that. So I love that because it's still being creative. It's being creative on another level. When you talk about AI, and that's just something completely different, bro. I mean, you literally can have AI run your entire business. Okay. You can have them run your whole business and your whole life. You know what I'm saying? Which can be a dangerous thing. You know what I mean? What I've learned is that too much of anything is not good for you. And if I mean, just look at how much our lives changed since the smartphone came into existence. Now, how many how much do we depend on our phones nowadays? We can't remember phone numbers. We
Not at
can't.
all.
We use it for everything. We use it for calculators. We use it for planners. We use it for whatever you could think of. Flashlights. I use it all the time. I think, oh, I got to step out here to start place. Let me find my flashlight. Boom. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So it replaced so many different things, devices, uh, apps, and things like that. Has replaced so much of our lives. So
Yes.
when you talk about becoming spiritually, I think a detachment or a disconnect is it's a must. It's a must in order to connect. Going back to nature, eating from nature, and also feeding nature. It gets us back more grounded. I would like to say,
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
and that, yeah, because being around all those computers actually does actually it does supercharge you. You know what I'm saying? With those positive ions, okay, all everywhere. The EMF frequencies everywhere when you're
Yes.
around electricity. Okay, imagine how much stress that can bring on the body and the brain. Okay, and then when you talk about spirituality, you talk about you have to be away from that. So you're talking about grounding, talking about putting your feet in the dirt and allowing the positive electrons to come into the body, right? And that's where you
Yes.
get into balance. That's where we're talking about balance.
I got you. Now, on the first thing that you had said in your thoughts there, you have mentioned about AI, and
Yeah.
I do agree with you on the AI. I think it's dumbing us down. Um,
Mm,
if the beginning of our creation we were made in the image of the Creator, so that means that AI is not only giving you an answer, it has already taken data in for 12 million of those same questions. Um,
mm,
so really, it's collecting data. People
mm,
think it's giving data, but it's really collecting data
mm.
and seeing what people accept, because that's why we're accepting so many of them. They give you three different kind, and you say, "Yeah, I want this one," or you say, "Do it again." It's recording all of that,
Right.
so that it can actually, I would say, serve you. But in the end, I think that the thought process behind is really to replace you.
Man,
Um,
that's
replace
deep.
your mind, replace your creativity, everything that you're actually here for. And then, on a side note, if I was also making you sick all day and doing all the rest of that kind of stuff too, and distracting you and giving you nine different connections to the Wi-Fi that's damaging you, and I'm beating you down.
Yeah.
I'm beating you down. So you're no longer going. I'm no longer going to need you, because physically you're not going to be able to hang in there. You're going to eat garbage, and your body's going to show it.
Mm,
Mentally, you will no longer. You'll tell me, like so many people tell me. I ask them, "Are you a creator?" And they always tell me no. But do you know? I used to do math through creativity. I mean, something that you think would be more logical based, and I was doing it through creativity because that's how I learned. And
mm.
so many people are using creativity in ways that they don't even know. If you cook alone, if you cook, you're using creativity. You threw something
Yes.
together. Even if you
Yes.
followed the scales, you didn't follow scales on everything because you ain't have everything.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you ain't have
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
No,
That's
but you're still using your own creativity.
yeah. That's so
There's so many
important.
creative ways to do
I
things.
love that you keep saying creativity because that is to me creative expression is the highest. That's what you talk about when you're talking about the Most High. When you look at when you look at God and being God, and
Yeah.
that's you even look it up in the Bible. It says the Creator. Okay,
Yes, the
the
creator.
Creator. So
And we're,
being able to create is 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 a true expression of your higher self. Okay,
yes, it is.
so you mentioned them trying to take away the creativity, them trying
Yes,
to steal the creativity, right?
yes,
So
yes,
they're yeah, so they're keeping us in our lower state. They're our lower state of being, and it leaves nothing else. It leaves no room for nothing else except the ego to operate, right?
yeah,
to say,
yeah,
look at what I made. It's like, nah, you didn't make that. Look at what I wrote. Nah, you didn't write that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
So it's a wild thing, man. And it's so true the way but we definitely need these computers. I wouldn't say we need them, but we've become dependent
They
on
make
them.
things easier.
They do make things a lot easier and a lot faster in a fast-paced world, right?
Yes.
I love the references in the Matrix. There was the Matrix is like my documentary, bro.
Beautiful movie.
Um, I love the scene where one of the higher council went out on the balcony with Neo when he went back to Zion, which is the home, right? And
Yes.
and and Neo, it was bothering him. He was out at late night, walking out on just exploring Zion. And the high council came out to him, and they was looking at all the machines. There was a water machine, and there was some other machines, and he was like, "Look at all those machines." He was like, "Not all of us understand what they do, but if we didn't have them, we wouldn't have clean water down here. We wouldn't be able to breathe. We wouldn't be able to do none of this." You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Basically, trying to bestow some wisdom upon Neo to let him know, like, look, I know these machines is coming to kill us, but you're the one for a reason. You're a chosen one for a reason. So if you go and kill all these machines and shut them all down, then how are we going to live? You know what I'm saying? So he was basically saying, like, I hope you have another solution other than just shutting all these machines down, because this is basically our evolution. This is how we're going to live. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And it's true. You know what I'm saying? Like, we become so dependent on these machines. If you just shut them down now, then all hell will break loose. We know that for sure. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So that this is one of the reasons to be in one foot in and one foot out. You have to learn the matrix because you have to navigate this matrix. You know what I'm saying? We were born into it. We were born into bondage. You know what I'm saying?
We
And
were.
truly, the only way to get out, to escape, is to nature. To go to nature. You know what I'm saying? To find your higher self. To know who you are. Right.
Yes.
So then, when you step in the matrix, you can step in the matrix as whoever you want to be. You know what I'm saying? But you're always under their rules, right? You're
Well,
always under
no,
their
no.
rules.
If you become a sovereign, not a sovereign citizen, a sovereign,
Yeah.
then you go back to the earth and you don't have to deal with any licenses. And but they're going they're people are doing it, but they do everything they can to restrict it because you're part of their bond. When you got that social
Mm,
security number and that birth certificate, you're part of their bond. And so the money
absolutely.
that they're spending overseas and doing all this crap with is the money that you're owing, you're paying back through your taxes. So you're one
Mm,
of their steers on their
yes.
wagon. So they don't
Yes.
really want to let you go. But to be sovereign again, you won't. Then you have under God, you have already laws that you don't that you'll take legislation over them.
It's
All
true.
of them. You'll take legislation over a judge. All of them.
It's true.
Yeah.
How
So
many
that's
people have you met? And this is just a question for you. How many people have you met that have actually become sovereign beings? I know the information is out there. I
I
know the
don't know
information
too
will
many
set
at
you
all.
set you free.
I
But
do have a group that I'm part of though,
and
and every day they're pushing it further and further.
yeah, that's dope. I need to
Yeah.
connect with something like that because that's always the goal. But most
Yes.
of us, and is that an information base, or is it money? Because I've heard of people with money have been able to get
Get out.
themselves free.
Yeah. Well, money just means that you know the right person with the right legalese.
Mm,
You know, because everybody got to have it. They make it to where it got to be a certain combination. If you do go out of that combination, you got to start over. They do a
mm.
lot of trickery.
Everything's under that Black's law, huh?
Yeah, yep, everything. You
That
have to learn
maritime.
that book.
Yeah,
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 well,
yeah.
actually, everybody that's listening in today, tomorrow, whenever this plays, they need to all pay attention to the Black's Law Dictionary. Download them from somewhere. There's a whole bunch of PDF forms of it. It is very
Mm,
beautiful
mm,
to know what these words really mean, what a person really means. When you find out what all these words they've been calling us and we've been using all of our lives don't mean
mm.
anything that we think they are, oh, it's ridiculous. And
Yeah,
that's what they're using in their law book.
absolutely, hundred
The law of
percent.
the sea, the
Yeah.
law of the water. And we think we're
Ab-
on
ab-
land and they're using the law of the water.
what is it? Admiralty Maritime Law.
Maritime law, correct.
That's crazy.
That's why we got to walk through the little thing and all that. When you go inside, the whole works, man. Jordan
Yeah,
Maxwell, I love Jordan Maxwell.
George
And
Maxwell drops it. Yeah,
man,
he's that guy.
he tells it in such an uncle. You know that uncle that come over the house that you listen to, like the storyteller. That's Jordan Maxwell. He tells it like it is, man. He was a top researcher, man. He was in places that people hadn't been in like that. You know what I mean? They was letting him in
Oh
a
yeah.
lot of places, and he was spilling it until I guess he spills too much. But
Yeah,
if you're
true.
listening, please go check out Jordan Maxwell. Some of his videos, you probably already seen him on TikTok,
Oh yeah,
but
definitely a lot of people probably seen it.
watch his
Yeah.
complete videos. He'll show us how to get our balance,
Right. Right.
because that's
Um,
what we're really about, balancing.
right. Balance, right. You're right. And Jordan Maxwell, he taught a lot about symbolism also, right? Too.
Yeah, he
Of
told
the
us about a lot of the secret parts about
right,
the whole nation that we didn't know about.
right, right. And
Yeah, it was
I
everything
think
symbols.
yeah, I think symbolism is so important, man. Um, especially in a world where they use a lot of word magic, right?
Yes,
We got to pay attention to the symbols too, because that's actually how our brain communicates through
right.
pictures and symbols. You know what I'm saying? So those can affect us on a subconscious level more than words, I believe. You know what I'm
Or they
saying?
affect us every day because they got 6 or 8 of them on the dollar
Right, right, right.
sigils. They're called sigils.
Yes,
They got
yes,
little symbols all over the dollar that's already affecting you,
absolutely.
and that's why you can't keep it.
Right,
But
right,
we're
right.
not going to write that story. We're going to write a story that you can keep it and you have an abundance of it. But
Right,
you listen to the news, you hear your friends talk about broke. It's all
right,
about
right.
currency.
Absolutely,
You know what I mean? People
absolutely.
got to
Everything's
understand that word currency. It's
yes.
like water, but it's really like electric, like us. We're currency.
Our current, yes. Yeah, that's the true word right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
And
Matrix
then
told us we were
charge,
batteries.
names like charge and
Yes.
you know,
That's why they
yeah,
put you in a cell.
cell and all that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
wild, bro.
Because we're a
Yeah.
battery. We have an aura. We actually emanate, I guess is the word. We actually put off energy.
Oh yeah.
We're all the
Yes.
time. We just don't know it. But we
Oh
really
yeah.
do
But
because
they actually can take pictures of it now. And
yeah,
also they have readers to be able to read your aura,
yeah,
to be able to detect it. And it's actually it's on a lower level. They tell us it's on a lower level, but I think it's just because of the machines that can detect it that we're operating at a low electromagnetic frequency. You know what I'm saying? So they
yeah.
put us down there low. But I think it's a lot bigger. Depending on the person, how high you're vibrating, really.
Yeah, yeah. And that might just be the flesh. It might not even be the spirit part. And the spirit
Right.
part is the part that control your cells, because really you're the master of the universe. You're the master of your universe.
Absolutely.
So your thoughts and all of that control your cells.
Mm,
So your
facts.
spirit actually controls. That's the lamb over the lion.
Absolutely.
And people
Absolutely.
got to understand. Like the Reverend Knight used to say, "Get down, boy."
Right. Right. Right.
And most people, he said, most of the people's lion is always jumping up on the counter
right.
because the lamb ain't strong enough to tell the lion down, boy. It's
Facts.
funny, man. I love Reverend Nike.
Facts. No, but yeah. So getting back to this balance, man, we was talking about uh, you know, some of the horrible things about being connected to the matrix, or some of the most unfortunate things about. But we transmute energy. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do. So even
Yes,
if we is in the matrix, you got to find a way to make it work. I mean, there's some benefits like that we're talking about here when you're being in the matrix. I mean, staying connected to the matrix, it means, like raising your social status, knowledge of the stock market, financially wealthy, social connections. Uh, we're talking about
material
politics,
gluttony.
celebrities, and things like that. Now, if you're well connected in the matrix, those things will come easy for you. You know what I'm saying? Um, if you're halfway, one leg in, one leg out, those things, don't mean anything to you. They don't mean absolutely zero to you. You know what I'm saying? And it's
well,
not like none of those things are wrong. You know what I'm saying? I
well,
think I
it's
think I think they're needed to make that balance, because it always comes down to that point that we talk about. We
yeah,
have to have something that operates at a low frequency in order to understand and appreciate and be able to recognize something that vibrates high. It's that opposite end. It's that little dot in the black that we talk about. You know what I'm
yes.
saying? Um, so I believe that that part is needed. You're never going to be able to get rid of the matrix. You're never going to be able to live in a perfect world, because there is no such thing. You know what I'm saying? I believe you need that darkness to have light. You need that light to have darkness. And I believe that's what that is. So you have to make the best of that. Like people always get on me all the time about some of the music that I still listen to. They be like, how can you be spiritual and you still listen to rap music? You know what I'm saying? There's it's just a part of myself that I don't fight when it comes to uh, you know, needing your ego sometimes. You know what I mean? Could you ever have, I'm gonna give you an example. Did you ever have a conversation or argument with somebody and you let it slide, right? You let that slide, and then you automatically go and do something from the ego, because that's your ego's way of saying, I'm gonna protect you. You go listen to some hard gangster rap or something that gets you in a different type of mood, or more of a protective mood. That's my, the lower part of me, but that's acceptable. You know what I'm saying? I think you need to feed that part every once in a while in order to be truly in balance. You know what I'm saying? What do you think?
I can probably say that I've been there a little bit, but my lamb has been doing pretty good for years. Um,
Mm,
I don't have to go there. I could just keep.
mm,
I could go right to where my story is and just keep riding that bitch, because I
right.
create from my story, so I don't even have to worry about that bull. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
I'll probably go listen to some. I might listen to some New Edition when I go. I everything I do is elevating,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I stay on the elevating side. So I don't
Mm,
really. I don't think I have to have the negative anymore to enjoy the positive. I just enjoy
mm.
what I want. Every time you sit back and think, turn around, that's more of that salt on your shoulder that you got to brush off.
Yeah,
So I,
yeah,
I
yeah, absolutely.
I don't really stay on the bad side. I really don't have you know my wobble of life. You got your ebbs and flows. My
Yeah,
ebbs and flows is like this sometimes. So my down is not even a down. I don't even see it as a
mm,
down no more. So it seems
mm,
like I'm always just going up.
yeah,
So I don't live on that other side. I don't go play no hard ass music. I don't play any music that offends my own peace.
mm,
And throws bullshit in there. Nope. I'll go listen to Tim's. I'll go listen to anything other than just something that gives me such a very harmonic vibe that I just
yeah,
feel like a summer day. Because you know them songs that just make you feel like summer and it ain't even summer.
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's
And I
what
know
I'll
it,
go rock. I'll go rock that. I don't usually
right.
go to my ego too often. My ego
Mm,
comes in when I'm competing against somebody, but yet it doesn't even come in there, but it does because I'm used to being a winner. So most of the time I'm still gonna push towards that win, even if I'm
yeah,
look like I can let you win. Oh, if I got it in me and I ain't got to go outside of my regular me, I'm winning.
yeah.
I'm not
That's
gonna
a good
hurt you
point.
for it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Another example is when it's like when me and Monica, actually when Monica's dancing, when she'll listen to the hard stuff, it gets her more moving, it gets her trying different moves and doing different things. Same for when we're in here, when we're making supplements to get us going. Sometimes we listen to some hustle music, you know what I'm saying? Some Young
Yeah,
Jeezy, some Fab, some stuff like that, where they're actually talking about selling drugs, but we're not thinking about that. We're transmuting that energy, and we're thinking about selling love. We're selling the opposite, but it gets us in that mood when we're in here. We're grooving, we're singing, and we're making our supplements, we're bagging things up. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it's another something else that just gets us going. It
yeah.
gets you motivated. Actually
I
raises
understand.
the vibration. You know what I'm saying?
I do
so
understand, and it's a
so I just
choice.
don't want. Yeah, it is a choice, but you get so many people sometimes that are hard on themselves because they think they have to be perfect. And they
We are
think
perfect.
and they think that when we go into the spiritual realm, uh, that we have to be this goody two shoes. We have to do all this and we have to do that. I think perfect and I think perfect is along with good and bad. That's all in the eye of the beholder. That's all in the perspective of what's good and what's bad and what's perfect
Well,
and what's
we should not
imperfect.
judge anything, and that's why
Exactly.
there is no good or bad. Everything is
Exactly.
perfect because you allowed yourself to make a choice. Nobody twisted your arm to make a choice. If it was the
Yeah.
wrong choice and you learned a lesson, so what? You need to learn that lesson to move on to the fourth dimension anyway. So you had to
Mhm.
get it in somewhere. So
Yeah.
it's all good. Every bit of it's good. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
But that's how I see it all.
And that's a
So
great way to look at it too. That's a great way to keep looking at it because
yeah,
uh
we judge
you
too
need
much. We judge everything we do, and
yeah,
that's why we have
yeah,
to forgive ourselves and do all that stuff so much. Everybody always you got to repent. No, you don't. You don't always
right,
have to. You only
right.
repenting because you're doing things that is outside of that love again.
Absolutely.
Do it
Absolutely.
inside of love. Listen, there
Yeah.
could be a serial killer killing little kids, and he think he's taking them off of this dangerous ass earth. So he's doing it in love, and can't nobody find this motherfucker. He got to leave clues just for them to get close
Mm.
because he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have that belief system inside of him, making him turn around and think the police is always behind him because he think he's doing
Right.
it out of love.
Right. Right. Right.
So you can't catch him. Nobody even
Right.
knows it's him because he's doing it out of love.
Yeah.
It may be a
That's
twisted
crazy.
love, but it's still out of love.
That's crazy right there.
Yeah. So you just gotta stay inside of love. It works so much better. Loving thyself,
Mm.
and you'll just make better choices all the time. If you do everything in love with you and in love with the person you're having relations with.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
have to. If you stay
Peace.
inside
Peace.
that realm, you don't have to see the bad anymore. The bad was just a motivator in the beginning to get you on your thought process to only ask for what you want. Because in the fourth dimension, everything that we create in our thoughts or think of, it happens instantly. So
Peace. Peace, Jen.
how many people who would have died already who said, "Oh, just kill me," or saying some stupid shit that they just said to say,
Mm.
they would have died because you
Right.
manifest instantly. We're in this world where when we ask for something, we have to draw it in through
Mm.
through through this almost like physical energy.
Mm.
So if we will never learn our lesson if we go to the fourth dimension with that same kind of mind thought. So
Absolutely.
we have to stay in divinity
Mm.
to just protect yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to always stay in love with somebody, and you always got to do it for a real reason.
Yeah. And that's why every situation is a learning lesson. It's not in particularly a bad thing. It's
Yeah,
just
you're judging it if you think it's bad.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like all
And the
these
same.
traumas everybody's saying they got. Everybody has this bullshit that they didn't get along with something in their life. But
Mm.
if they used all them that fucking trauma into some passion to either stop somebody from raping kids or whatever you doing, put some passion in that shit and turn it into
Mm.
something else. Use that thing you always say, transmute. We
Yeah.
transmute that energy. And we
Whatever
wouldn't
you
have
focus
all these
on
damn
grows.
traumas.
Whatever you focus on grows.
It multiplies in tens.
Yeah.
And that's what they're forgetting that they're gods.
Mm.
Everybody's always mad when I say we're gods, but if the only thing here is God, then how the hell can you be separated from him?
Mm.
And
That.
I have an issue with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
only because everybody keeps separating themselves, calling him and his and this and that. Why?
Mm.
Even if Jesus Christ came down and told you who he was, you'll be
Mm.
doing bigger and better things than even I will. Have you forgotten ye are gods? He said all that cool shit.
Mm.
They only listen to Psalms, I guess, because that's everybody's favorite shit. I'm like, shit. When he told me I was a god, I was done. You could have closed the damn book, bro.
Man,
That's all
uh,
I need to hear. Fuck all that
nah, fact.
Psalms and Job and all the rest. I learned that shit on the run.
No, I feel you, man. And we get a lot of backlash doing that. Because when you get into fruits and you get into nature and you get into herbs and stuff like that, spirituality it just comes along with it. You know what I'm saying? That's
So
why
you
I
okay?
still have I still got some street in me, but I've allowed myself to elevate to another level too, and I just have those parts of me that I don't fight because I know they was there for a reason. You know what I mean? And they always come at me about the religious thing, but I always tell them, I left the church, but I kept God. You know what I'm saying? And that's usually enough for them. They don't understand how or why, but that's enough for them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
For some people, if it's not for them, that's on them to figure out. But that's truly enough for me. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Well, I'm a photographer and I always got some photography stuff. So I say, listen, the top two cameras right now are Sony and Canon. So if I put a
Mm,
Sony and the Canon, they're images of each other. They have a couple different buttons here, there that do maybe something a little different, but this camera does something like that too, because they're
mm,
images of each other, right?
mm,
So if God made us, or they, or made us in the image of them, then that means that when I ask you what are those tools on the table, you're going to say cameras because to you they both look like the same camera, right?
mm.
Because they're images of each other. So
Right.
my question is if you're image of the God, why are we calling ourselves humans?
Yeah.
Why are we calling us anything that did motherfuckers who've been fucking us over with words and dictionaries and spells? Why are we following their shit? This
Right.
this could be this ain't got to be an arm. This could be a lotus tree to me.
Yeah. And
I
and
can
it's
call
not
it what I
like
want. We've been
and it's
listening to the wrong people for too long.
yeah, and it's not like when he or they said we were made in the image. It's not like they meant a physical image because we obviously don't look all the same.
No, no,
Right.
it's the
So
spirit within because most of us
there,
don't even
there
know
you
what we
go.
look like. That's why pretty
Exactly.
girls are still struggling to try to be pretty
Exactly.
because they don't even know who they are because they're not their body.
Mm.
They're the spirit within.
Preach. Preach.
You know what I mean? And you're not even the spirit within. You're above, looking down. If you really
Mm.
want to know, you're more of a bird's eye, living
Mm.
within this guy, within this shell,
Mm.
all day.
And let me
And
ask you that while you're on that where you're on that topic. Because I've had a lot of experience with uh astral projection and um what's the other one where lucid dreaming, right?
yes,
And I tell people I always tell people the truth of how it started. I always tell people that it started with Freddie. It started with being afraid of Freddy Krueger as a youth, right? And
mm-hmm.
there was one of the Freddy Kruegers in particular. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was called the Dream Master or something like that, where they actually dropped some jewels in there. Where they said if you're awake when and you touch Freddy, that you can bring him back into the world with you, right?
yes,
But I took it as if I knew that I was dreaming, then I could control my dream. So that
yes,
was the thing. Soon as I seen the first clue in my dream that I was dreaming, I didn't get scared. I stayed in the dream for as long as I possibly could. And that's how I
yes,
worked on that. I worked on it and worked on it and worked on it.
yeah,
And some weird things happened when I was trying to astro project, right? I would always try to astro project. And I didn't try to start astro projecting until me and Monica got together, right?
okay,
Something would always happen. I would never be able to leave the room that we're sleeping in, no matter where we're sleeping. When I go to try to astral project, I can never leave the room. Like I can literally see us sleeping in the bed, but I couldn't go outside of that.
okay,
Okay. And
yes,
right, until my diet started to get better, I started taking herbs all the time. Okay. I started getting those good night sleeps again. Okay. those real good sleeps where you're like dazing off and you're kind of awake and you're asleep. Okay.
Yes.
I used to get those, and then I could really take control of my dream. I'm telling you, I was so proud of my dreams. I'd be flying, doing all types of stuff, right? For
Yes.
that, you ever have that dream where you try to fight or you try to do something, your punches are just so slow, you can't hit, or you just can't give enough power, or you can't shoot, or you can't do anything. You're running, you
Yes.
can't,
It's
or you
usually
try to
running
talk
for
and you
me.
can't talk. Okay,
Yeah.
that those are the things that I was working on, and I've actually became really, really good at it. Now I can almost do it at will. I can decide if I want to stay in a dream or if I want to go out. And I
Yes.
remember them so much now that I could actually say what they mean now. I can actually decipher the meaning of my dreams. You know what I'm saying?
Beautiful.
Where where so I guess what I'm trying to say is I took something that I didn't even believe in at all before, and now I'm doing it all the time now. When I used to see astral projection and all this stuff, I used to be like, yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? I used to be
Yes.
like, yeah, right. Come on. You know what I'm saying? But now, as long as I'm dreaming, I could take control of that dream and I can go pretty much anywhere. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And
Well,
that and that's an example of how far I became spiritually, right?
yes. Yes.
So
Because
now,
of great
oh,
practice, practicing
practice.
your godship,
Mm,
all the powers that you obtain that you naturally have, you practice
mm,
them so you can focus and get them where you need them to be. Most people will
right.
not even do day one practice.
Mm,
Yeah.
right.
Most
Because
people astral project, well, they sort of lucid dream when you wake yourself up because you got to pee.
mm,
Some women lucid dream every night because you got to get yourself up to do that.
true, true.
That
That's your
trigger in their
body,
body
right,
makes them remember that they're in the dream, and then they wake themselves up.
right. I was just about to say something about that. That's why I was saying when I started eating better and I started eating herbs and stuff like that, it became better because when I was smoking a lot of weed, okay, especially when smoking weed, it just knocked me out. Uh, so because I like when I was going through things
Yes.
is when I started smoking weed, right?
Okay.
And and that would block everything out because those dreams would turn into nightmares quickly. And
Okay.
even though I could still control them, I didn't want to be in it. I didn't want to see it. So I would smoke a lot before I went to sleep. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have to drink
So you can let go.
until 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 the practicing got more and more and more. And then I was able, and then that wasn't even strong enough. You know what I'm saying? It would still put me to sleep, but it wouldn't give me those nightmares because I've overcame them and whatever the dream meant in reality. So I didn't have that dream anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
So
go ahead.
spiritually, where I'm at now is like, okay, I feel like I don't feel like I'm like where I need to be at the top spirituality. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? But I feel like I'm there enough that I can dabble into the matrix a little bit more now. I can
Yeah.
do the business work. I can take the classes. I can take the courses. I can learn this. I can read that book. Okay, even though they're under the guidelines of the matrix, they're going to help me become more spiritually free, like that next level, like things that you're doing, growing your own food, growing your own fruit, things like that. I don't want to just have a plant in my house. I don't want to just have a plant. I want to have farms, fields, trees of fruit and every herb that I produce. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
If I can't, if the soil's not right, if I don't get enough sun, I don't get enough heat, I will create greenhouses. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, all the bad things in my life and all the bad things that I did in life, they prepared me for this. I used to grow weed for years,
Gotcha.
years, okay, that have taught me how to be able to manage a plant inside of its own environment and inside of its environment that it naturally grows. I
Gotcha.
believe things like that have prepared me for things like this. You know what I'm saying?
I do
So
understand.
it's and that's that balance that I keep coming back to. That balance, going having to go through some things to get to somewhere else spiritually.
Okay.
Peace to the people that's in the building.
Yeah, there's been people talking. Somebody's enjoying. Nick. Nick is enjoying the topics. He also said they've been planting from sunrise to sunset, I guess, for the last month,
Nice.
which is beautiful. I would love to see pictures of their garden in the chat. That would be wonderful. That would
Shout out to Nick.
inspire
Shout out to
others.
Nick. I've
Yeah,
been talking
yeah.
to Nick behind the scenes.
Big
He's
love.
a
If
he's
this,
he's a he's a deep guy, man. He's a real
I,
good dude, man.
oh, I bet, man. I bet, and I enjoy fruit, man, and vegetables and stuff, man. So any kind of zucchini you get it, some extra. No, I'm just playing. But I do love me some. This is my first year messing around with the garden. My neighbor hooked me up, and I'm loving it, man. I just want why when the Matrix tells me take something away from me, it's really telling me what I need to gather.
Mm,
So when it took the food away, it told me that I'm supposed to be self. I'm supposed to look out for self and learn how to actually get my own food.
mm,
So I'm one of them guys who I know about edibles all over. They're all they call them weeds, but most of them are edibles, and they have more nutrition than half of the ones that they're giving us at the store anyway. So
mm.
I learned about edible weeds, and it's one of the coolest things ever because y'all can talk about anything you want, and I'll go find some purslane over there that got all the minerals in it and eat a half of that, and it's just like sea moss.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I
And
mean?
I try to tell people that too.
Watercress,
Be-
anything. Just
because of the craze they have. There's so many other uh, plants out there that have got over 92 minerals in them
yeah,
and give you the same benefits. But people they hop on fads and crazes, right? Just like one of the watermelon things. Now, I love the fact that people are on a craze, and I love the fact that people are getting healthy just
yes,
eating watermelon.
I do.
But
I
those
love
are
it as well.
but a lot of people don't understand that it's not about just the watermelon. The watermelon is just a catalyst to get to the real healing. It's first is to reset our body
Correct.
and while still mineralizing, you're still being able to detox. But one thing it teaches you is how to break addiction. The standard
Body
American diet.
control.
I know the homie Ed Ramon talks about it a lot. He talks about it in his book, and also uh, my sister Lachey Taylor. She talks about it a lot, and that's what the journey seems to be about for a lot of people. It seems to be about more about getting down to the spiritual part of the journey where you're breaking an addiction. You're getting more down to the mental things that you need to do to break addiction is what it's really about. And I
Yes.
think a lot of people they just want to jump on the fad to try to make a quick buck. You know what I'm saying? Which is fine too. I would never knock anybody's hustle if that's
Yeah.
the way they want to do it. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you got to get it how you live nowadays because there's some places now that are charging $20-$30 for watermelon. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
so it's ridiculous. That's why you need to go get $2.50 worth of seeds.
Worth of seeds, or get
Yeah,
or if
or
you
go
do,
get a watermelon that got seeds in it and just
and
use
then
them.
take those and then use those seeds.
You
Yeah,
got 100 watermelons in it.
right, right. So I think that's all part of the transformation. I mean, you got to have the
Under our
balance,
nose.
right? You got to have the balance, right? You're going to have people who get in it for the fad, they get in it for the money, and you're going to have people that are using it for what it's supposed to be used for. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to have people that want their stuff right away, right? Not everybody can be a worker in the field or a farm. Not everybody can do that. So
That that's one of the
so
demons here. I don't really consider anything a demon. It's just
yeah,
what distracts you and allows you or manipulates you. But convenience is killing motherfuckers, man.
it is. It is
Um, they will make some. They will make. That's why we have McDonald's, which gives you no nutrients for convenience.
fact.
It's worried about fast. It didn't care about food. That's why food was second.
Mm,
And it's killing us, man. You go to a convenience store. I mean, there's nothing but poison in the convenience store. Nothing but poison. I'm like, wow, are y'all paying attention, man? That fake sugar that they put in all the candies. I mean, I don't think you can find a candy that don't have it in it, and that stuff is
high
poison.
fructose corn syrup.
Well, that's the second poison. This one even more.
Oh, aspartame.
Aspartame. There you go. Couldn't get the name out. I'm glad you pulled it out.
Man,
Yeah,
those.
aspartame is in the last thing that I checked. That aspartame wasn't in his Tic Tacs. Everything else,
Mm,
it's in. I sat there one time because I had a friend who worked at a convenience store, and so I was just there spending some time saying hi because there was no people coming in, and I checked almost every candy,
mm,
and they all had aspartame in them.
wow.
I was like,
Yeah.
wow. And then I got the Tic Tacs, and they didn't have it, but they got some yeast in it, which is no good either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're like,
Well,
wow.
there's new names now. They just came out with some new ones. They came out with some new ones in 2018. They changed the names of some sugars, and I believe they came out with a new one uh, this year, no, 2023, of what they named the sugars. I can't keep track of them, bro.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
just
try
the
to keep
same sugar, and those are the compounds that we got to stay away from. You know what I mean? Uh, those
just.
are uh, those are called polysaccharides, right? So they think poly meaning more than one, right?
Hmm.
Saccharide meaning sugar, right?
Yes,
They got all these chemical bonds all over the place that attaches this bond to that bond. That's why our body can't read it. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Our
Doesn't
body,
know what to do with that. That's why it turns it into that stuff that
right,
you see underneath people's legs.
man. That's why
You're
they
like,
call
what
it. I
kind of
mean, that's
ass is that? Well, how did you build an ass like that? No, I'm just playing. But I be seeing people with asses that shaped like airplanes and shit. I'm like, what? I've never seen that before. And it's all that
yeah,
polysaccharides.
yeah.
It's just throwing
No,
the
Nick,
fruit to the side, kicking it to the side. Here you go.
yeah.
Yep.
Yo, Nick, yeah, you're right, man. Some polysaccharides we can definitely break down. Our body can break down. I'm not saying all polysaccharides are bad,
Yeah,
but
but
when you
most
when
of
you
these
talk
sugars
about
are bad.
when you talk about monosaccharides is what we should be eating, and this is what we started talking about when we started talking about the mono eating and the watermelon and all that stuff. We're talking about monosaccharides, the most simplest sugars, right?
Yeah.
Uh, when you talk about the simplest sugar is what we get from the mother's milk. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and
I
then you
agree
go
with
into the
anything you
next
just said.
simplest sugar, okay,
Uh huh.
which is the fructose that comes from the fruit. The mother, I mean the simple sugar, the simple monosaccharide that you get from your mother's milk is called galactose. Okay, and then after that, the smooth transition would be in the fructose, right?
Yes,
Because fructose can be absorbed right into the cell. It doesn't even have to go through the pancreas. You know what I'm saying? And
I did.
this is why fruit sugar is good for you, and you don't have to get diabetes, okay? Because it can be digested directly into the cell.
I got you.
Um, so after that, and then like we knew that. Even Gerber knew that, right? Gerber,
Oh, they
they
all
give you
know it.
that they give you that fruit, right off the mother's milk. Well, first they gave you the government milk first, right? They gave you that powdered milk, you know what I'm saying, and
We
all
don't
that
know
stuff.
what's in that stuff.
and
It
then
scares me, man. I've seen
and
kids
then
grow to be enormous size off of that crazy stuff, man.
man, and then you go into the simple monosaccharide that's fructose, right? And then everything after that is glucose. Everything breaks down into glucose, okay? Which is your vegetables, right? Outside of that, when you start getting into the complex sugars, then you could be talking about damage in your body depending on the amount, okay? Depending
Yeah,
on your metabolism, depending on your age, depending on how good you take care of yourself. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
So yeah, so those are the sugars that we need to be talking about. I just wanted to clear that up because that's the number one question I get when I'm trying to put people on fruit. The number one question. Oh, my doctor says it I can't because I'm diabetic, or my doctor says I can't eat fruit because fruits have too much sugar and you gotta do this, you gotta do that. So that's why I wanted to put that out there. You know what I mean?
I
I
understand.
always gotta reiterate that because monosaccharides are uh they reset you. They put you back into balance, so where you should be. You know what I'm saying? You won't have a problem because your body doesn't have a problem reading those. Okay, it doesn't have problems absorbing those. Okay,
Yes.
so you won't your insulin level will not spike from your pancreas. Okay, because you need to absorb these complex sugars. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's why you got to be careful with some of those sugars, man. Even you know, that even vegetables break down into glucose. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
But when you're putting sugar on your vegetables, then then it's something different. That's another category of a a polysaccharide that you can get. I mean, they get really crazy with those.
Yeah. Yes, they do. But the food thing, we need to just stay away from all the processed stuff. Juice your own damn juice. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Get your own stuff, man. Do it like your great grandma. Because there's a lot of us out here that's young. Their great grandmas are still
yeah,
cussing and twerking. So
yeah.
the ones that wasn't cussing and twerking and cussing at
Right.
people,
And
be
shout out
like
to a
them.
lot of people that's getting yeah, shout out to a lot of people that's getting back to doing that, man. Shout out to you. Shout out to Nick in the chat, man. He
Yeah,
says, that's why
he need to pop him an invite next time so he can get his face up here.
and we've been talking about it, man. He's going to definitely come on. We've been
Yeah,
talking back and
he
forth.
got a lot to say. I didn't join the chat because I didn't want to kick myself off when it takes me to YouTube. So I was like, I ain't gonna join the chat, but I was gonna chat with him. But yeah,
Yeah,
man, I agree that we do need to think about our health. And if you're really lazy about it, or you're new to it, or you want an easier way to do it, go ahead and download the Yuka app.
well,
YUKA, I believe it is. It's a
yeah,
carrot. That app will break down everything, hit you up with ratings to 100. So it's a wonderful app. Me and my sister play with it all the time. We're always trying to get the highest food we can scan. You know what I mean, and still be able to eat. She just hit me up with some uh some sweet potato chips, and they was a 98. 98 out of 100 is wonderful. Most potato chips are in the 30s and 40s, so they're way
absolutely,
low. You know what I mean? People don't
absolutely.
know kids cereal, man. I can't find them over 40. Every one of
Nah,
them's in the 30s. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's what we're starting our kids off with. So it's a great app, man, and it's free right now. And we need to stick with it because the big companies didn't get a hold of it yet. It's still
right,
being produced by a small company, and that's where we want to keep everything. Um, I
absolutely.
I almost didn't understand that. I know we're in the balance thing, but I almost didn't understand why everybody was so pushing, big companies, Walmart, because I was looking at it as the convenience and what they can offer me. But once you see that once they take over, they really don't care about
Nah,
the
no,
consumer. They just worried about getting you the piece. So if they was in the street, they would have a blow up. You know what I mean?
yeah,
They're serving the blow up, and everybody thought the blow up was the bomb because it looked so big. But then they found out the blow up was blowed up.
drugs, man. They're
Yeah,
drug dealers, man.
yeah. Well, I'm just turning the drug dealer to the WalMarts, and they do the same thing with once they all them big companies buy it out, and they start being the investors of all the big companies. Man, they just invest in each other. You don't even know one from the other. I think they're all owned by the same people. They just keep lying and saying they're different people. Um,
Oh yeah,
like all them groups that run the world.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Yeah. Well, you find out that most of the places that are ran that you're getting most of your products from are ran by them.
Follow the money. You'll
Yeah,
find them.
they don't really care, man. So that's what you need to be paying attention to at home. And please, I know this is far off, but I'm just talking because I say this kind of stuff to people
Yeah,
daily.
please go ahead.
Um, please, man, if you see somebody get a kid Skittles, do the shit that I did. Listen, I said out loud, your mama must don't love you. And everybody looked at me like, dang, that's ignorant. I said, well, I got TikTok. I know she got TikTok because I see her on it. And she had to see that Skittles are the worst thing you can ever give your kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
She
Red
had to
40,
see that video flipping through. It's hit my shit, and I ain't asked for Skittles. I don't punch
red
up to
40,
search
yellow
Skittles.
sevens. They
Yeah.
don't even. They don't even. In other countries, they don't even allow them. How you get something that's banned in other countries, but you still like, nah, I grew up on these. That's
Yeah, man,
people.
they're
That's what I'm
good.
saying. I
They
grew up
got
on
90
these,
sugars in them too. And I'm
man.
looking at people like,
Especially,
what? You man, you should when on the Yuka scale, bro. You should see how many things I scanned that was zero. Jiffy corn mix, all kind of black
oh
people.
yeah, I
Well,
used
I'm
to
not
be.
even call us black like the white people. We are brown
Yeah,
people, and we've been brown people.
yeah,
All the brown people got addicted to that Jiffy
yeah.
sometime in their life.
Mm-hmm.
Even
You
if their
ever?
mama was mixing the Jiffy with a little bit of homemade, it still had Jiffy in it.
Yeah,
And Jiffy gets a zero.
yeah.
You
No,
know what I mean? There's so
you
much
haven't
stuff
been.
that grits.
You,
I
yeah,
love grits, but they don't scan good.
no, hell no. They're
Yeah,
they're
so
they're grain.
yeah, and so
They're
I
grain
put
that your body can't break down, man.
exactly. So I put it up to where if it ain't in the 70s, I ain't effing with it. And that's
Yeah,
just love for me. That's the love for
yeah.
thyself.
I don't use Yucca anymore, but I still recommend it to my clients all the
Man,
time.
listen, I don't
And
shop
you wasn't in
without.
the group you wasn't in the group 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Yucca, we used to have some jokes going about that because we used to like there's people that used to bring up just ridiculous foods, and whenever we go in the supermarket, we would scan it with the Yucca app and put up the numbers of what it was. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Just to get people familiar with the Yucca app because I had so many people in my group when I started that were my clients. So it
got you.
was more like a little
That's a
personal
wonderful thing.
joke thing. But it definitely works for people that are starting out and definitely people that are trying to transition. That
Yeah,
Yucca app is a lifesaver. There's another one too. Ask Bobby or something. I think it's called
okay,
Ask Bobby, right?
got
And
you.
look
Thank you.
look look that up. That app is a lot of people saying it's better than Yucca. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
But I don't use that either. Reason
okay.
being because man, I
You eat
stopped
all fruit.
messing with all of it. I just
Yeah.
started going mono eat most of the meals. You know what I mean? I
Yes,
eat fruit for a couple of days, one fruit for a couple of days, and another fruit for a couple of days. And I try to go organic as much as possible. So after a while, I didn't need it. But what I keep telling people is, don't look at me as the way to go. Look at yourself and decide where you need to be. You know what I mean? Because everybody ain't on the same journey that I'm on. You know what I'm saying? And I
I
could
do.
I could truly say that because I went through that journey by myself. You know what I'm saying? Monica
Indeed,
went through her journey by herself. You know what I'm saying? We
you
just took
have
our
to.
journeys side by side. You know what I mean? So we were able to help each other a lot more.
Yeah,
You know what I mean, by sharing the information.
that's what
But
we're here
other
to
than
do.
that, it's an inside job. It is a self journey. So a lot of people are not there yet. So that app is a huge help when you're just deciding like, man, it'll give you your first reality check as a smack in the face. So like you said, you
Just
grab your favorite food, you
yeah,
grab your
that's yeah.
favorite snack and take it up there and read it with that Yuka app, and
You're
you're
like
like,
what?
you three addictive chemicals in it. Wait, let me check
What
that. You click that little red thing and open it. You can't even
man?
read it. You
And
can't even read the chemicals.
it takes the minerals out of your bones, and it be saying some
Yeah.
old wild shit.
Wow.
ADHD, you won't have learning disabilities, and all the kids
Right.
got it. All the kids got it,
Right.
and guess what? They can't tell them to sit their ass down. So I'm like, dang,
Right.
look at it. Y'all just cuss them kids out because they can't keep still. And what y'all
Right.
just fed them just said that they gonna be running around like they can't keep still.
Right.
God
And this is
dang.
what we're talking about when we're talking about drugs, right?
It's like a comedy show, man.
So
I can see
I'm
why
about to
Jesus
bring
Christ
Nick
was
in
like,
here. I
Lord,
think Nick is
forgive
ready
them
to
because
come
they
in.
don't know
Nick,
what
are
the
you ready
hell
to
they're
come in?
doing. Excuse me?
Nick, are you ready to come in now? I can pull you in. I can send you an invite, family, if you really want to come in now.
Get him on
Maybe
up
we'll
in here. He
maybe we
round and ready with all the comments. Let's get him up in.
right. So
But if
that's
you
why
don't
I
want
was
to,
saying
that's all good. He on stage, right?
no. He
It
said give
just
him 5 minutes. We
oh
might not
so
be in for we might be gone before 5 minutes, bro. So we might get you on next
yeah,
time
we'll
because
get you. Yep, we'll get
yeah,
you. But
because
much
I
love
would
to
have
you
to
too, man. Thank you for interacting.
yeah, definitely, bro.
Cause
Because
you
he's been
right
wanting to get
there.
on for a while, man. But he's a busy guy. He actually is somebody that I want to stay connected with, man, because he's going to be able to help me substitute a lot of my herbs. He's a grower. He grows a lot of stuff. Let me look
Nice.
at some of the stuff that he was saying in here. Some of the stuff I just heard for the first time. I've been talking to the bro for a couple months. So he was like, he got 120 cucumber plants,
Ooh,
400 pepper plants, herbs,
man.
tomatoes, citrus. He got four full farms.
Man,
Four
where
full
you live,
farms.
bro?
Facts. Where you at, bro? We need to start a community out at your
Man,
spot.
man, I wish I could transport some of that up here for real. That shit sounds delicious. I know
Facts.
all the farmer market people though, But still, I love to have a brother that I know. He said he
Yeah,
ready, man.
yeah. Let me see if I can pull you in. I'll pull you
Pop
in and we
him
can talk for a
in.
couple of minutes, family.
Yeah, let's just extend it a little bit. See what we can chat about. I'm glad whoever's on here is on here, loving everybody. I stay in the state of love. Stay in the state of love yourself. It's a wonderful place. Definitely allows you to think better. Allows you to stay in your own peace. Cause I love you even if you got bullshit to talk about. Like yeah. That's what he the master of bullshit. So I give people awards instead of talk shit on them. I just been he get the fucked up award today. You don't let nobody irritate your world. You like, man, come on, you ain't bothering me. You already got
Word.
that award, bro. I know you keeping up with it.
Yeah, Nick, I sent you the invite, bro. I don't know how it's gonna look. It's my first time pulling on three people, but I'm willing to try.
That's all
I like to
good. Yeah.
I like to play around with technology and creation. Let's go.
Yeah, somebody else got a comment, throw it up there so we can talk about something. I answer some, talk about some, chat with something, share, whatever. And just to let y'all know, I do t-shirts, man. I do designs. I'm a hell of a photographer as well. I'll fly out your house if you pay for it. We
Yeah,
do it.
so if you don't know, go check out Derrell,
Yeah.
Derrell Carter. I'll tag him on here. Follow the bro. Look at some of his work. Look at his Carter collection. You won't
Yep.
be disappointed. You won't be
The Carter
disappointed.
collection. We can't bring up disappointment, sir. You will be happy looking at my gallery.
Word up.
Most
I
definitely.
sent it to you in Messenger.
I've been having fun for a long time. It's like when you was a little kid, you used to say, "Hey, can Johnny come out to play?" That's what we doing right now. We ain't never stopped doing that. Tiger and I
Right.
do it every time. Everybody I know, that I'm always out to play with him, man. We talk about anything, man. We clown, laugh in the middle of the street. People riding around us, laughing with us. I live a
Facts.
phenomenal life, man.
Facts. We
That's
had
what
that
people
one
say.
little.
Go
We
ahead.
had that interview at your house, man, or at Cuz's house, and
Yeah,
it could have went on forever, man. I had no idea we was there that long. That's how fun it was,
it
and what
was.
we was doing and what we was talking about. Energy. Think about it. We was all in the house. There was seats everywhere, but we was all standing up. That's how high the energy was. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? We was
yeah.
all standing up, just laughing and going around to different people. That's how high the vibes was.
Energy is a wonderful thing, and I'm always bringing it, man. You call me to the party, I'll bring it.
Fact.
That's what we all Jesus Christ, man. When he walked in, they ain't say he was humble and chilling, wallflower. They ain't say none of that shit. They said he was that. You knew he walked in the room, so that he had to have some bold energy on him.
Fact.
Sometimes I get mad when everybody try to act humble like Jesus, because that's when we don't accept them powers that we have. We don't throw gratitude to him because we barely want to say that we're good at something.
Fact.
You know what I
Nick, can you
mean?
hear me? Nick is here. Can you hear
He
me?
here. Come on, Nick. Come on stage, brother. We're gonna announce Nick into here. He sound like he's a big
There you
old
go.
farming guy. What's up,
What's
Cat?
up, bro?
Great
Nick
day to
did.
you.
What's popping,
How are
bro?
you?
How you
This is
feeling?
pretty cool.
Life is
You
grand
fucking
here.
beat, bro. I'm so tired.
Yeah, we in here, man.
Yeah,
So,
this is
Nick,
cool.
so now that you're in here, brother, before we ask you, I got a couple of questions for you. I don't know about Darrell, but I got a couple. Um, where are you from?
I'm in Massachusetts right now, Western Mass.
Okay.
That is right. That is right. Because we talked about how I was up in Connecticut. I was close, pretty close to you.
When'd
Yeah,
you
it's
learn how to
crazy.
do farming, bro?
So, I mean, shit, dude. I've been doing landscape design since I was like 7 years old.
Okay.
And it just kind of like, I started learning about, let's see, I didn't pay attention to shit in high school at all. But there was these two electives, landscape design, and we had a greenhouse in the back. And
Gotcha.
so it was like an elective. So I took those 2 courses, and I just started learning and started getting my hands dirty. And like you guys were saying, I was like smoking weed since I was like 12 years old. So like I had some incentive to like learn about this shit. So I went to college for landscape design, took a lot of botany courses there, and
Nice.
like it just fascinated me that all this biochemistry just existed around me. Like even when I was a young kid, I used to go around and like um, just play around and like roll up like dried up maple tree leaves and smoke those, and it was like we were coughing and like nope, those don't work. Like, and it was just like an interest with, well, why does this plant create an effect on me, right?
Yes.
But it was like a psychoactive instant effect. But not until like later did I realize like food has a biochemical effect, whether it's psychoactive or not is a whole
Right.
different ballgame. So I didn't
Correct.
start connecting those dots until like later in my journey or whatever. But so I was always interested in growing my own food, and just trying to grow my own medicine, because no offense to anybody else's stuff, but like my stuff was like 100 million times better than anything.
Hey,
So
I'm
like,
with it. That's
That's
that
the
so
way I
like
felt
boldness I
too.
was just talking about, man. You guys speak in boldness. Got to
Mm.
know you
yeah.
good. So I like that, bro. That's good. Tell me which do you sell any of it?
No, actually, I'm not. I'm like a few months without it right now because I started with this detox process.
Okay.
Um, my story. So I want to have Tiger actually put me on in the next couple days, like when I'm organized, because I want to tell him my whole story, because I
Got it.
believe it has a lot of value, and I've been so busy, and I want to figure out how to present it so it's actually as valuable as it can be, rather than me just ranting, which is kind of like not that bad. I mean, we can still have good discussions, but to give things in a digestible manner, to really connect a lot of dots that I've been connecting. But that's why I was triggered by you guys' talk tonight, and I want to ask Tiger too. What are you saying about your dreams in cannabis? Because I noticed even just up to like 2 months without cannabis, my dreams have been absolutely gnarly, dude. Like so intense.
Crazy,
So
right?
yeah,
May I stop you real quick? Did you say without it?
without it, because I didn't dream when I had it. Like he said, I would smoke before bed, and I would wake up and I would just go throughout my day, and I would like, all right, time to smoke again, and I would just continually go through it, just because these habits have been built since I was a young kid. So
Yes.
that's I speak a lot about habits, forming new habits, because these things are so
Mm.
ingrained in our subconscious mind. And
Right.
because I started when I was like 12 years old, and I was not doing it for medicinal reasons back then. Like
No.
I was just fascinated and running around my culture of consuming things. So I was like trying this,
Mm.
doing that. And it was just, cannabis was always part of my consistent daily use, like way more than necessary. You know what I'm saying? So
I do. I
so
was there
now
too.
I'm just like, well, if I want to detox, and really get my lymph fluid moving, to really reset my chemistry, like Tiger was saying, like get my monosaccharides on so my body can reset itself, clean itself out. Like I'm not going to want to take in smoke. Smoke's just going to form more acidic waste. It's complex chemistry. It's going to have
Yes.
like all these byproducts that my body's going to need to move to get out of there. And
Yes.
it's like I felt so dumb trying to eat a bunch of fruit and smoke weed at the same time. So I was like, all right, time to get out of my system. So
Yeah. And I went through that cycle. That's what got me actually unaddicted to it, I think. Um, and 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 it allowed me to control the dreams a lot better. Okay. But then, me wanting to continue that experiment, I was like, okay, now that I got this, let me try to smoke again before I went to sleep. Okay. And I was still able to dream. Okay. Um, but like I said, whenever I was smoking at first, when I first went back to the weed, they were nightmares, bro. It was like, wait, I couldn't control the dreams like I used to. You know what I'm saying? So now it was like another level. It was like I was playing a game, and I mastered that first level where I was able to control my dreams, right? And be able to astro project and do all these great things. Like I would literally be excited to go to sleep. This is how much I was into it. I'd be excited to go to sleep. I'd be like, I flew last night. I flew over my projects where I was from. I flew. Derrell knows what I'm talking about. Moreto dwellings, right?
Yes.
I flew. I was able to fly over and see everything. The basketball court. everything, right? That alleyway that you go down in the back, or you come back and go around, where the alleyway, where the woods and everything is. I seen all that. I was able to fly down that lane. I was having so much fun in my dreams, right? But when I first went back and started smoking again, it was like everything was a nightmare. I'd be falling bleeding into other dreams. I was like, what the heck is going on here? Still being able to stay in my dreams, but couldn't really decipher what was going on. Okay.
Oh,
Until
yes.
it took more practice of that smoke. So now I can smoke. Well, I don't really smoke too much more. Me and Nick talked about it. I'm more just ingest my weed now. I make a lot of resins and stuff like that. Mix them up in my juices and stuff like that to be able to enjoy it that way. Because marijuana is actually an alkaline herb, even though it's psychoactive. It can still give you some alkaline benefits to it. Okay, so I wanted to experiment on that aspect of it. That's why I kept doing it. So now I feel like I mastered that level now. And I feel like it's just endless. You keep on going and keep experimenting with yourself, playing in creation, as Yaki would say. That's why we don't ever try to say, "Oh, I'm never doing this again," or "I'm not doing that again. I'm not doing that again." Why? Why would you limit yourself like that? You know what I'm saying? When you can do so much, you know what I mean, on so many different levels.
Well, I think you just hit the cannabis dilemma on the head right there. You know, it's just when you combust something, you know, whether it's cooking oil or anything, as soon as you combust it, it goes over like a vaporized temperature. It turns carcinogenic and it creates all this chemistry that needs to get moved out quick.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, if you eat, like, even when I used to grow, dude, I used to go into my, you know, and I don't grow cannabis right now, it's just food, but like, I used to go into my garden and take all the leaves that I was trimming off and put it in a salad and eat the leaves. Like, I'm not doing it to get high. I'm doing it because those things are mineral rich and nutrient dense. Like,
Correct.
if we have all these cannabinoid receptors throughout our body, like in our entire body, dude, like it's there for a reason.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're there for a reason. You're exactly right. That's what I've been saying for years. They're there for
Just
a reason. I hear about so many of them. They're in our brain. They're everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. Those receptors are literally everywhere. There's a matter of fact, it's in Boston. There's a dispensary, right, where you walk in, and they actually got the whole wall, and they got the human body, and it shows the cannabis receptors and stuff on the body. It shows where they're at.
Pretty nice.
It's pretty dope. It's the same thing that I was going to say in relative to food. How fruits, we know fruits they're supposed to be eaten, just like the cannabinoids they're supposed to be consumed in some type of way. Fruits have their own digestive enzymes in them. You know what I'm saying? Which is dope. Like and some of them are even the same exact ones that we already have in our bodies. How dope is that? You know what I'm saying?
Well, plants is only one thing off from us, man. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We're just walking plants, pretty much.
Man, you said it, bro.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's just interconnectedness to our environment, really, and so that's why, like, until I started coming across this whole, like, you know, it was like 5 years ago my journey started when I just came across, it wasn't Yaki, but it was this other dude, along with Sabi, and just like I literally,
who was it, Bobby Price?
No, I'm pretty sure it was the white dude that Yaki was saying he wasn't really cool with at first. That's why he was down with learning about Sabi or whatever. But Morris, Dr. Morris.
Robert Morris. I love Robert Morris. I never said I wasn't down with him. It was just like I didn't.
No, he said Yaki, I think.
Yeah, Yaki. One of his videos, I think he was saying that there was some Caucasian guy that was presenting the material in a way that he wasn't really down with, so he was trying to vibe with Sabi, which I don't know if he meant Morris, but that dude's all over.
I never knew that, because that was my similar story too. But I liked Robert Morris. Because
he's like in a little classroom area.
That?
He mostly sits at his desk and he got questions. He mostly reads his desk. But he has clinics. I believe he's in Florida. And he has a great detox book also. He's a detox specialist.
Okay. I know exactly who you're talking about. I checked him out too. He's deep.
So like I just came across this shit, and like, you know, this was new to me. Like this, like, it was so ridiculous how I'm like how the, I don't want to swear, but like, how is this even possible, bro? Like, that I'm now this age, right? And this is the first time I'm hearing something like this. Like, and it was like simple, and I couldn't argue it. So like I had to, like, I'm the type of person that, like, you tell me some shit that I could try to prove to myself. There's no way I'm just gonna not try to prove it to myself. Like, you're either full of shit. I
I
remember I
like
was
this
mad at
dude.
me. I got mad. I was like, I was literally like sitting to myself, like, how dare this guy try to tell me that how I've been eating my whole life, thinking I'm doing pretty good with my diet, is completely not even how I'm designed by nature. And then he's given examples of why that's not the case or whatever. So like, I literally started proving it to myself, and then I started to go down this rabbit hole of which, like I said, once I get into my story, this is all gonna like tie into like, I tie into addiction. I tie into like the progress that I've had to be able to, get into a receptive state with allowing like the progress over. A lot of people may have that story where like overnight they make changes. That wasn't me. I had like steady progresses that I was like, holy shit, like my body is totally dependent on all this other stuff. And like, I've come off
Oh,
drugs, dude. So drugs are a part of my story. And that's why, like, this whole, it's not even about just like Cheetos and Doritos too. Like, I get that that's drugs. Like, those chemicals are drugs, but like, even just the salts, the fats, the combination of salts, fats, carbs, like these things, for me anyways, were massive to come off of, like very, very difficult. And coffee
um,
was probably the hardest thing I've ever come off in my entire life. Off of every substance I've ever come off was coffee, believe it or
let me
not.
ask you. Let me ask you, Nick, while you're there. I don't mean to cut you off, but this is right up the alley, but you can continue talking about this, okay? What was harder? Because this is actually a great what you're saying here, because we talk about the correlation between the addiction of all these chemicals in our food. It's basically what they're giving us. What Derrell was talking about, all this stuff that's in the food and the aspartame and all this stuff. These are chemicals, right? So we when I coach a lot of people, and what a lot of people talk about in the watermelon washout, that it's more about fighting addiction is what it's about. Doing these one mono challenges and things like that, right? So you said this is one thing that I can't really relate to other than marijuana. Um, when you talk about, if you don't mind me saying, when you say you were on drugs, was it drugs? You know what I'm talking about, or was it?
Bro, that's why I need to tell my story, because I've literally come off, other than like research chemicals and shit that, because there's like pages full of chemicals that like I can't even pronounce, that are like, you can literally just Google, like, research chemicals that have, I could go online right now and literally order kilos of legal research chemicals that are just like analogs of like known drugs. So like, you say like drugs, but like the
Can you turn your
normalized.
volume down, Nick? Could you turn your volume down?
Yeah, here's something going on. That's me.
Yeah,
All right, is that better?
yeah,
So like, there's the normal. I still kind of hear it, but is that all right? Is it better?
yeah. I can see.
Yes.
I can hear you now better.
All right, because like, everybody's used to like the street drugs, like what everybody's familiar with. You know what I mean? But like, when I say I've come off most substances, I'm just coming off most substances that people are familiar with, if not all substances. I don't know if you want to like. So I'm 5 years. I just celebrated 5 years off of heroin. Again, but this time it's different. Like I've done all sorts of pharmaceuticals, benzodiazepines. Meth was one of the things I didn't get into hard. I just tried it a couple times, but thank God, because that stuff is absolutely ridiculous.
It's
Wow.
Um,
terrible.
Cocaine.
And I know you
Uh,
probably made your own because of the chemist you are.
no, no, no way would
You
I
did?
ever get involved in something like that. Like, it was
No,
all,
it was the
no.
scene
Like,
you was in.
if I'm using drugs, it's complete like physical dependence on something is not something you like. I would have a hard time like having bodily functions. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it is
What's
what it is.
good,
Like,
Curtis?
I got you. We'll hear
I
your
won't
story
get
when
Sorry,
you
too
go
much
break
ahead.
it out.
into it now because I do want to present like an organized manner of how intense a lot of these substances are to be on the progression to come to a dependency on it, and then coming off these substances, how intense it was, and then how I can relate it to the food, because I don't expect everyone to understand what it feels like to come off, without like cold turkey coming off heroin in a jail cell. Like, not many people, or I can't say not many because it's an epidemic out there, but like a lot of people on this healing journey, whatever, may just be like, yeah, right, this guy's out of his mind. Like, he's saying coffee's the hardest thing to come off of. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That was
because
my question. Hold on, before you go any further. That was my question because Kev Ramon wrote a book about addiction. Okay,
yeah, I didn't read
and
it yet because I was in the process of writing my own too, but I want to read it someday for sure.
right. So I mean, there's videos I can go back 3 years when I was saying I was going on live and I was saying like, look, you got to treat it like an addiction as such. You can't have it in your house. You can't have other people eating it and you're not in your house and you're not, unless you built up that much willpower. You know what I'm saying, to be able to do that.
So I'll use
So
alcohol. Go
so
ahead. Sorry.
that was my question of what I wanted to ask you. You said coffee was. I can relate to the coffee, bro, because I didn't drink coffee until I moved to Connecticut. I moved to Connecticut because up in your area, especially up there in the north, Massachusetts especially, they're coffee drinkers, bro. So when I moved to Connecticut, they said their slogan was Connecticut runs on Dunkin', right? And every time, my people would go to the store, they'd be like, "You want something from Dunkin'?" I'm like, "What? What I get? A donut? Like, what do you? No, you want a coffee? You want an iced coffee? You want?" And I tasted the iced coffee. I'm like, "Damn, this is good." I tasted some other stuff that they made, some strawberry drink that they used to make. I used to be like, "Yo, this is good too. This is crack." Okay, until I literally became addicted, bro. I was looking at my cup holder and my change holder to find change to get $2 so I can get a coffee, bro, an iced
That,
coffee. So I wasn't on coffee that whole time before I moved to Connecticut. When I went to Connecticut, I became addicted to coffee. Okay, and it was one of the hardest things. My coffee. I've been vegan now for 9 years. I just came off of coffee 2 years ago. 2 years ago, bro.
They
When they
make it
started
highly
making mushroom
convenient too.
coffee. When I
yeah,
when they started making mushroom coffee is when I came off of it. So I can definitely relate to that being the hardest addiction to come off of because of the caffeine, bro. You know what I'm
yeah, it's
saying?
funny you say
And
that.
the
And and
convenience.
and the convenience and how much that it actually tricks your adenosine receptors. You know what I'm saying?
And
When we
how
get
much they put
energy,
it in you that coffee wakes you up every day, and the Folgers commercials and the Maxwell House commercials, all of that help too.
yeah, that
Bro.
does help. But I'm
It
gonna
helps a
tell you
lot.
the reason. I'm gonna tell you the reason why
Best
it's so
part
addictive.
of waking up
Yeah,
is
True.
Folgers in your cup.
That that didn't get me. That never got
It
me. None
did.
of that
It
stuff.
get
I'm gonna be
every one
honest
of
with
us.
you. I'm
That's
gonna be
why you
honest
know
with
the
you.
song.
None of that stuff got me. But
It
I've been
do.
watching those commercials for years. I'm telling you, when I moved to Connecticut and everybody was drinking coffee, that's what got me drinking coffee. And
Yeah.
I'm telling people the reason when I got off of it, so many people were mad at me, right? Because when you talk about energy, true energy, you're talking about ATP, right?
facts.
Adenosine triphosphate, right? That's what we're talking about, which is pure energy, right? So we have these things, they're called adenosine receptors, okay? And when we drink coffee, when we drink caffeine, right? This tricks our adenosine receptors into thinking that we're really getting energy. That's why it wakes us up, right? So it tricks us into thinking we're getting real energy, but it's not. It's fake energy, right? This is why when we drink coffee, some people can go to sleep. Some people can crash off of coffee, right? Why do you
Uh-huh.
crash? Because your adenosine receptors are being pinged 24/7 and you're not giving it real energy to be able
Yeah,
to keep those
I
receptors active. You
I
see what
agree.
I'm saying? So when I understood that, it was like, okay, I understand how it works now. So I had to wean myself off of it. And what I used, and this is why I'm not completely against transition foods and things like that, and mushrooms and things like that. Because when I started drinking that mushroom coffee, all it needed is to give me that little bit of taste and the energy. And I was able to be like, okay, this is giving me real energy. It's giving me real, and I can sustain it now. I can feel my brain actually receiving this information and receiving this energy to be able to maximize my goals during the day and be able to keep me in more of a positive mood. And I was like, okay, this is what real ATP is. This is what real energy is. Okay. So when I was able to decipher that too, I was able to wean myself off of the coffee. But it is a true addiction, bro. It is really a true addiction. And it's one of those things that become a part of what? Your daily routine.
Waking up.
Okay. Anything you focus on, and even when you put it in your routine, it becomes a part of you. It becomes a part of your life. Now you got people on, don't even speak to me before I get my coffee in, right?
Yep.
And they're not even
heard people say.
Exactly, because you got to program yourself. You should be thankful when you wake up, and you should be programming yourself from that moment that you open your eyes. Even before you close your eyes, you should be programming of what kind of day you want to have and be able to see that. But if you're dependent, and this is where addiction comes on, you're dependent on a stimulant, a drug, to be able to make you have a good day or to start your day off right. If you don't have it, automatically set you off onto that bad course on that bad day. You know what I'm saying? This is why coffee is so addictive. And what the other question that I wanted to ask you was, how hard is it to because I heard you say you started mono eating. Am I correct, or no? When you said you started getting those monosaccharides, or did you just start cutting all the addictive foods out of your diet?
So like it was until recently, like I didn't actually do 100% fruit. Like I did little spurts here and there, and even like I don't know, what do you consider mono eating? Like what you guys are doing with like the same food for multiple days at a time, or one meal at a time?
Well,
multiple days of eating the same food.
No, but that's different, Vaughn. That's what I'm gonna tell you, because me and Monica don't do it like that. We mono eat. Okay, like we'll just have a watermelon. I got my golden honeydew, because I discovered it's my favorite. It's my new favorite, hands down. I'm telling you, this tastes like it tastes like, I don't even want to know if it's a GMO. Don't even tell me, Derrell, for real. Don't even tell me, because I know you're gonna be like, yo, don't even tell me. I don't even want to know. That's how good it is. It tastes like cotton candy with honey poured on it. I swear to goodness. You know what I'm saying?
Perfect texture.
Right. So I'll just eat that as a meal, okay? And then the next, maybe later on in the day, I'll eat some grapes. That'll be a meal. And then, a little bit later, I'll have some walnuts, some pumpkin seeds. Okay, so that's mono eating. Okay,
that's mono eating.
That's mono eating. Okay, I learned that through Arnold Ehret's book. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The Mucusless Healing Diet. Okay, where that's mono eating, and that's the simplest way that you just eliminate everything else except for one meal. Okay, that'll
sides. You don't have no fries with your burger.
That'll eliminate all the confusion, and it's the quickest way to reset your body, to get your body back on track. So that's why I was asking you. Now I got my man here. It's a great example. My man Curtis Love is in the building.
All right,
Curtis. I know you're having a tough time right now, and we'll talk about that afterwards.
We won't speak about his tough time.
I know. No, I'm talking about, he has the supplements. He just recently got the supplements, so I'm going to tell them how he can help him fight his time. But it's going to be a longer conversation. But Curtis, he's on 48 days straight of just watermelon. See what I'm saying? Just watermelon only. Okay, and that's something that I never have done before. It's not like I don't know that I can do it, but it's just I've done these things before, and I know how quickly I can lose weight. So I won't take myself there. But this is what a lot of people need as far as healing goes, as far as detoxing your body goes. And we do a lot of 3 days every once in a while. We might do 2, 3 days a month where we're only eating one thing for 3 days, or we're only juicing for 3 days. So I do a lot of detoxing and cleansing so I can be able to play around in creation. Homeostasis is the goal. I've got myself to homeostasis plenty of times where my body is truly balanced, where I feel like I'm strong, but I'm also light at the same time. That's my balance that I try to achieve. Okay. So when I'm mono eating, I don't think about anything else. I don't even think about other foods. You know what I'm saying? Because, it a lot of people don't know. If you're detoxing and you're eating and you're mono eating, you're opening up something they're called NRF2 pathways in your body. They are detoxification pathways. Okay. We're talking about your adrenals, your pancreas, your liver, all these detoxification organs. Okay. If your body is backed up, and Nick talked about your lymphatic system, if your lymphatic system is backed up, these actually slow down. Okay. They actually slow down and stop processing things. Okay. This is where you have buildups. This is where you have blockages in your body that manifest to let you know there's a problem somewhere. You're sick, or this is what happens. Okay. So what was that? Oh no, my bad.
Well,
Oh yeah, that was
while
Curtis.
we took a quick break, we were
No, that
talking
was
about
Curtis.
lymphatic systems, and there's a wonderful herb called cleaver. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes, yes. Cleaver is a wonderful herb for
It
cleansing.
clears out your lymphatic system.
It definitely gets the lymphatic system moving. That's what cleaver does. So and there's another thing too that I use in a lot of my cleansing. It's called Jamaican dog blood bush. I'm just going to put it out there. A lot of people don't know about it yet. And they call it dog blood because of the berries that grow on the bush. But this is very good for moving the lymphatic system always, also.
Yes.
Very good for getting into small tubes and pushing things along. And I'm just going to put it out there like that because I know when you start talking about herbs, you
Yep.
know what they
Just
do.
wanted to put it out there.
Derrell, you already know. But
Yep. May
but
I ask
yeah,
Nick a
so
question real quick?
yeah,
Nick,
go ahead.
this doesn't actually involve food, but it may involve food because I don't know that much about you yet until you give us this wonderful introduction when you get it together. But did the spirit of addiction did it exist in your home before you?
Yo, so wait, so Tiger, when do you have time to go on next? In the next couple of days? Like,
This was a pop on one because I finished a long day and I haven't went on for a while. I had a couple of cancellations of people that I was having a tough time, so I didn't want to bring them on camera. So this was a
yep,
kind of a pop up. So my best days are Wednesdays and Sundays to come on.
Wednesdays and Sundays. So what are you
Wednesdays and
doing
Sundays.
this Sunday?
I'll see if I can fit you in this Sunday. I know
Yeah,
I know I got to do it. I know I actually got to work on Sunday, but Sunday night might be good. We might be able to do it Sunday night.
because honestly, I
Sounds
was gonna
good.
hit you up anyways. I'm getting to that point where I'm putting like my last 150 pepper plants down, and then I have time and I have it all organized to the most part. But
Yeah,
what you asked me, I want because this is tough to answer in a short amount of time
Okay.
or just
yeah.
Okay.
But let's just say that or can you ask me one more time? What'd you just say?
It's just that I just wanted to know if the spirit of addiction existed in your home before
Okay,
you.
right.
Like did
Right.
you run into it? Because spirits.
So the spirit of addiction, right? And this is where, like, because of my, I've gone through the ringer, and I'm part
I'm
of,
listening.
I don't know if people recognize, but like, and this is something I have to remind myself, but like, I'm in a category of less than 1% of the population of people that have used similar substances and been in similar situations than I do. Most of the people I know are either dead or completely spun out
Or look
still on their
like they're
way.
dying.
Yeah, well, they're not. They are dying. They're not looking like they're dying.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, I consider myself very lucky. First of all, I'm very blessed, and that's why I'm trying to share my story to be able
Yes.
to connect some dots. So like the spirit of addiction, that's why like, especially an intravenous narcotic user, because addiction, people don't understand, like addiction literally is monetized in our culture. And like people would
Mm,
look at me, right?
I
And they'd
see.
be like, man, you got a problem, bro. And I would say, what are you talking about? I'd have all these rational defensive thoughts that would continue to allow me to exist in that reality to keep moving myself forward because I depended upon this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't see it as a problem until like my, like I'll get into my story about when I could actually recognize that these thoughts that I was having to reinforce this behavior that I was participating in against my will, right, was actually an addiction that was so powerful and so blinding that I was masked from it, right? So like
Mm,
now I can recognize it, like I speak like homie there, the Marcus Juice doc you had on, like
yeah.
everything I'm doing is giving credit to some most high of some sort, like
Mm,
whatever I identify that with or whatever, because like the gift of clarity that I have now to recognize what addiction is massive. So
mm,
like when I see somebody like in my family, sure, the spirit of addiction, to answer your question, yes, it has existed in my family, but if people are thinking that addiction looks like this or that, which is what we're programmed to think, like, oh, the alcoholic, the bum on the street corner that's drinking a gallon of vodka every day, compared to
mm,
the, guy begging for change to go buy another bag of dope, like whatever it may be, people are looking towards that as addiction, right? And my mother, never used substances, right?
wow.
She smoked weed once in college, didn't like it. She drank like a couple times, didn't like it, just stopped. This was early on in her thing. Um, and everybody smoked cigarettes back then, but when she was pregnant with me, she stopped. Had no
Mm,
problem with it. Right. So anybody else that, can't see it like I do would say like, well, that wasn't addiction. You know what I mean? Okay, it wasn't. But like, so she'll say like, I just can't fathom what that must have felt like or what it was like. And I was like, well, you want to know what it feels like, Mom? I was like, why don't you try to turn off the television for a week and go for a walk outside? And she would go something along the lines of, I could stop watching television whenever I want. It's not a problem. And then I could hear her get more defensive and angry, like, what are you talking about? Act like
Mm-hmm.
I have a problem with watching television. Like,
Yeah.
that has nothing to do with you using drugs. And you can't even compare the two. And I'm an adult and I could do what I want and get out of here. Right.
Yeah.
So,
It was the
and
same
I'm like,
shit.
and I'm walking out kind of chuckling, but not chuckling. So I'm like, this is how serious this disease of addiction is. Or it's not even that, bro. It's literally these dopamine receptors giving me those hits of dopamine that
mm,
give me a reward, stimulate my reward center, that make me feel comfortable, right? And this is why
mm.
I said it earlier when you guys were talking, like, and somebody says that quote, like, comfort is the worst addiction, right? So, like, whether that's compulsive gambling, whether that's watching television, whether that's like, have you ever seen this show Strange Addictions? It was a show on like
Yeah,
Discovery Channel or something like a while ago or some shit like that.
yeah,
Like
no.
people were addicted to eating drywall, cat food. There was
Oh
people
yeah, I
showing up.
did see that. I'd seen that.
Yeah,
Crazy.
so
Dude,
people were like showing up in their lives, being like, "Listen, man, there's lead in that drywall. Like, you're killing yourself. Like, the doctors just say you don't have much time left to live. Like, please stop." Like, and the person's like literally compulsively eating drywall to their death. Like, so that's
yo,
just an extreme example, but it's
let me just
ultimately just like,
let me just clap for you for a second, man. That was beautiful. A beautiful explanation, man, because I'll let you finish first. Good. That's just go ahead, man. That's dope. I've never heard anybody explain it like that. But even though I understand that, I've never heard anybody break it down like that.
yeah,
That you did the point you just made is like we stimulate our own chemicals inside of our body and our own hormones for that stimulation for that dopamine those dopamine receptors and those the serotonin and all those happy hormones. We do whatever we can to get to those now. That's why you could talk about online addiction and what addiction looks like. And if you try to stop any of them, like some of them are harder than others, but I'm hearing a lot of people say food is the worst addiction because of what Derrell said. It's ingrained in society. It's everywhere. It's popping in your face. You
Convenient
everywhere you turn, there's a commercial.
every
There's
day.
everything. There's people around you eating it. You go into the convenience store, in the whole wall. You go in there thirsty. You go in there thirsty. You gonna buy some bullshit. I'm telling you. You go in there thirsty as hell. You be like, damn. I literally sometimes, especially when I went back home, man, I would go into the damn the Speedway, and I would see they got one of the biggest cooler things that go around the whole damn store.
You
And
can
I'll look
walk in
at
that bit.
and I'll look at every single case like, man, is there anything I can consume?
Nope.
I I just end up getting alkaline water sometimes just to settle for that. You know what I'm saying? But that is how bad it is. You go to a grocery store, it's that much more ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So
I think it's wonderful because I just do the opposite. I stopped depending on their bullshit altogether.
yeah,
Go get your own water filter and have your own water and have it in the coolest copper cup you can have it in. Fuck them. I don't need none of your shit out this store. Just give me 10 on pump 3.
right.
And
Yeah,
we
the
got to stop
convenience.
depending on all their bull crap. We got to turn it all off. I think everything's an addiction these days. Like you said, everything, man. These phones is fucking addictions. I can't stand watching, trying to talk to somebody and they're on their phone the whole damn time. So
Yeah,
we got them all around us, man. But that's part of this. When you talked earlier about the Matrix, it's all part of
Matrix
the same
reality.
thing,
Yeah,
man. We're
Yo,
now
perfect example.
of this
Perfect
world. We're
example.
acting like we're of this world, and we're not.
Perfect example. I'm about to say this to both you guys, right? Like, and I know none of you guys are like probably too bad with it, but have you ever opened up Facebook, looked at your notifications, scrolled through some shit, and then realized, damn, I got some work to do or something, closed it out, and then you caught yourself scrolling through Facebook again 5 fucking minutes later?
yeah.
Has that ever happened to you?
Oh yeah, it happens all the time. Almost like a. I don't even think about it sometimes. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I don't even think about it. I'll go, like you said, I'll be like, damn, I can't be on here. I gotta go do something else. Then on my way going to do that thing, I'd be like, wait, I just closed this out and I'm opening
Yeah.
this thing up again. What the hell am I doing?
So check it.
Yeah,
So now when you press back, right? Like you press back to get out of it, right? What does it do? It brings you to the top of the news feed again. Right?
right. Yeah,
Like I'm
yeah.
pressing back to try to get out of this shit because, like you said, I got stuff to do. But it's like, yeah, you're not leaving just yet. Hold up, you're back,
Fact.
and you got new content to scroll through, right?
Yeah.
So like when I say there's like I don't know, because addiction literally trickles into other trillion-dollar industries, but like multi-trillions of dollars to be made off of monetizing biological addictions of all sorts, right? And controlled by the same people you guys are talking about that control all these different corporations and companies and metaverse and blah 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 blah, right? Because like they want your attention, bro. When they say pay attention, right?
Yes.
They mean literally pay me, motherfucker. Like pay attention, because attention is currency. It's the real value that we have. Like it's like
Fact.
money's
Time is money.
money's just like paper debt notes that they use to buffer your attention and your time. But like if they can fixate what you place your attention on and how to maximize profits driven around this compulsive nature to fixate more of my attention towards these behaviors, that that's like a gold mine on top of a gold mine on top of a gold mine. And since it trickles into all these other aspects of society, it's like when I say it's monetized, I mean there's scientists and scientists and scientists that have total understanding of how this human biological organism works.
Absolutely.
And such intricate intellectual blueprints on how to keep us fixated on these behaviors. And that's why I really hope we can get on this Sunday.
Doing is so important.
If we can get on this Sunday or as soon as possible, like, and I got to finish writing this book too, because like the more I can present my material and get it, in a digestible content, I feel like the better I can even maneuver around it myself. Cause my Tiger's dealt with me a couple times. Like my mind is so vast and all over the place that for me to pull it all together and make it digestible content is always a challenge, but I'm always up for challenges. But like, that's why, society looks at the junkie looks at the homeless bum chugging a gallon of vodka. That's why nobody really wants to be a part of the solution, in my opinion, because there's something gratifying subconsciously with these people that sit there and compulsively shop, that have like their money in their, all their loans in order, so they have their material things. They compulsively go through whatever behavior they're into, but because it's societally acceptable and I can still keep my relationships and I can still keep a job and I can maintain some sort of balance, even though there is this behavior that's driving me nuts and I'm still compulsively doing it, and I'm not really getting honest with myself and trying to challenge myself about how to overcome these behaviors, that it's a subconscious. It's not happening on the conscious level. So that when I see the junkie on the street corner robbing and stealing, or begging for change or whatever, it's like this thing of like, go get a job, junkie. It's like, and people kind of like doing that and pointing at this person like, man, you have a serious issue, man. Go get help. Because then it takes the load, the bearing load off of me and puts it on someone else, and I don't have to pay attention to my shit. I don't have to pay attention to my compulsive behavior. However, little in comparison extreme it is to the like the repercussions of that behavior that's going to be compulsively. Like if you see an intravenous narcotic user in and out of jails or whatever, caught like shooting up puddle water or something, you're going to be like, well, the risks that are coming along with that behavior are pretty astronomical compared to the person that's compulsively shopping and has a whole bunch of other clothes showing up on her doorstep or whatever it is. So like, but it's this thing, that person's still suffering that's compulsively shopping. They're still doing it against their will. They still probably have goals, dreams, values, relationships. They probably want to see the world, travel, do different shit that they can't do because they're trapped in this behavior.
True. I see it all the time. Like you go to Mohegan Sun, some of those big casinos. I see those people. What's the difference between the people that just lost their house, lost their car, and lost their family gambling, and they're sitting there in a casino not knowing what to do, between a bum on the street that, like you said, is clutching a bottle, trying to get a couple dollars, trying to play the number. What's the difference at that point? They both took the bad side to addiction. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I totally get it. And it's the reason that we say what we're doing is so important, because we're teaching people, if you can control what you put in your mouth, okay, what you put in your body, then everything else you can control. It just takes that same amount of discipline that you use for that, for everything else. And we already talked about the reason why food is the number one addiction, because it's everywhere. And like you said, it's societally, and not only society accepted, but even exacerbated to the highest level. You know what I'm saying? When you're watching TV, when you're scrolling on Facebook, you get on any app, they're giving you free meals, free pizza, coupons off of food, all the work. And then you get on, that's like a high level. Okay, that's high level. If you want to call it, the middle class, higher class, that's higher class. Okay, you get down to the lower levels, they're giving you free stuff. I see people doing all the time that in their heart they feel they're doing a good thing, but they're handing out government cheese and all this bull, and giving you Pepsi and all this crazy stuff, right? But they're giving it to people supposedly in need. You know what I'm saying? When I'm here to say there's no difference between that level and that level, it's all addiction. If it's going to take you and disconnect you from your higher self and your higher consciousness, then it's something that you need to kick.
And what is it going to do? Back to what I was saying earlier, what is ultimately, like, if I eat a bag of chips right now, right, that has all this stuff in it, right, and I've been eating nothing but fruit for a minute, what do you think the first thing I'm going to go do is? Just somebody guess, please.
What's
the first thing you're going to do?
I'm going to go, I'll just tell you, I'm going to go probably get some other food that's not good for me. I'm probably going to roll up a joint now because I'm not satisfied again. And I'm probably going to go cook up some meat or something. And I'm probably going to go watch some porn or something. Or I'm probably going to go gamble or something. Or I'm probably going to go fall back. I'm probably going to fall back into some sort of behavior that's going to keep wanting more, 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 because that's what this is. And but if I eat fruit, right? Like say I eat a honey, what was it? The golden honeydew, right? So say I crack into a delicious, beautiful golden honeydew, right? And I eat that thing, right? And I can overindulge, right? Because sometimes I do that. I'll eat too much watermelon. I'll go lay down for a minute. But like, let's just say I eat that thing because it's delicious. But then what happens when I'm done with that piece? I go put it down, right? And then I keep moving throughout my day and I don't want more. I'm satisfied. Like there are no more cravings that continually bombard my consciousness. And then if this craving that continues to follow with all these other foods, right? Ultimately, what did I say I'm doing after that half a watermelon or half that melon? I'm going to do something else and place my attention elsewhere where I want to, right? But if I'm eating something that demands more of me, they've got my attention and my energy, and I have to go now fixate it on getting more and chasing more of something, meaning I'm not accomplishing my goals. I'm not sitting on a chat with other brothers that are sharing real wisdom and stuff like that. I'm off literally consuming garbage, and beyond consuming it, I'm over consuming. When I already ate 3 meals like that night, I'm still having a dessert. I'm still reaching for that pie or that cake or those cookies or the whatever. And then even when I'm done with those, it's not good enough. And I'll get sick to the point where I'm sick because I still have this sense of not being satisfied. And that's why this fruit diet is so important. That's why what the work you guys are talking about is so important. That's why I believe and I follow all you people out here that are doing this stuff. Like, and I try to keep connecting with all you guys that are sharing this message. Cause like you said, it's like, there are some people like I think out there that are hustling, bro. Like it does kind of bother me, but at least they're hustling like real wealth. You know what I'm saying? Like, but at the end of the day, this isn't about monetary gains. This is about literally getting our attention back so we can start benefiting our communities again. Because I don't know if anybody noticed, but there's kids living out here developing in this sick society. And I don't know about y'all, but this shit makes me sick when I see a St. Jude commercial. I literally gag and vomit. I turn it off. I start crying almost. So like, this is real life out here. This is like, you know, obviously we can gain monetarily and then reinvest back into the message to help the community. But like, I'm all about.
Say, no, let me just. I don't mean to cut you off, but because I used to feel that way. I used to feel that way about the business, and that and Derrell can relate. Whenever you're starting out, especially when you're doing your creative business, it's a problem asking for money sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But you have to remember, you're gonna be the one putting the value on yourself of what you're worth. Okay, you can either go high on that, or you can put your low value on yourself. Okay, and that could relatively become a problem. Okay, that's something else that you're going to end up struggling with, because you could have so much low opinion and low value on yourself. Okay, so when you accumulate so much experience and so much knowledge, okay, you have to put a price on that. There's going to be somebody out there that's going to pay. They're going to see your value and see your worth. Okay, and they're going to end up paying for that, because they could go somewhere else and get it. And just like Derrell said, the convenience. You can go on and Google something if you really want to know the information. Okay. But if you want to know what I know and you want the herbs that I have, then there's a value placed on that I feel that value should be placed. And nobody else can tell you your value. So when somebody's selling their album for $1,000 a pop, I used to be like, yeah, please, come on, please. Yeah, right. Okay. So like Nipsey did, Nipsey, and I forget how much he was selling his albums for, but he sold one of his albums. He was selling them for like $10,000, right? And then Jay-Z came through and bought like, I don't know how many of Nipsey's albums, right? Jay-Z clearly saw the value in what he was doing. Okay, Nipsey didn't care about how many units he was selling on that. I could see where his mind was at, where he felt like this was the value of that, and nobody could take that away from you. I feel like that's the same thing in information and what a lot of people are doing here. There's a lot of people doing the work. There's some people that come on here every single day and go live, and they're sharing their lives. with people, with strangers. They're sharing their whole entire lives. They're showing you what they're doing. They're showing like my man Curtis just jumped on. He was like, man, he was like, I'm having my toughest time on my journey right now. He was like, I'm fucking fighting. And this is a high vibrational guy. I don't know what happened to Nick. I think Nick dropped off. I think he was having some problems. But Curtis is a high vibrational guy. And to hear him say that, I was like, okay, I'm definitely going to hit him up because if he's struggling, there's a lot of other people out there struggling because he's usually on the one encouraging people, jumping on people's posts, giving people the love. Now he's having a tough time and he's struggling and fighting. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the examples of somebody that puts themselves out there all the time. So when you have that, um, you know, that value placed on yourself, I don't like when people say that, like, oh, those guys are charging all that money for herbs, or those guys are charging all that money to jump into a challenge when they don't know the value that they placed on themselves to be able to do that. Because first of all, if you wasn't getting paid, those people wouldn't even be present. They'd be at a factory stuck somewhere for 9 to 10 to 12 hours a day. Okay. So they wouldn't be able to be on here sharing their information, pumping people up, motivating you, creating groups, giving people the knowledge. There wouldn't be able to be that. So that's why I never, try to judge people on when they say, oh, they're a lot of people are just in it for the monetary gain. When we talked, Derrell, me and you talked about that earlier about getting your freedom. And there's a fine line between that. When you're detaching spiritually and you're trying to get some monetary gain also. You know what I mean? What do you feel about that? You haven't spoken in a while, brother.
Yeah, I just been listening.
Okay.
How do I feel about what again, man?
I what we
caught a
was
whole
talking.
bunch of stuff. I still got stuff that we was talking about earlier.
All right. Well, let's start with that. We'll get back to mine. We was talking about
Well, you
monetary
mentioned
gain.
something about a monetary gain, right?
Yeah.
Well, to me, man, I really don't even care what they do out of it. It's their journey, it's their story. It's not really truly ever. None of it's ever affected me, so I don't care what they do with it. If they want to make some
Right.
money off of watermelon, whatever, that's
Right.
cool to do. You know what I mean? So I don't even subscribe to any of that part. So that's probably why I was quiet.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of things I don't subscribe to, bro. I don't even let my beautiful mind even dibble and dabble in some stuff, because it do
Right.
sound cool, but it ain't really affecting me. It's an
Right.
individual thing. A lot of people don't believe in their abundance and believing that being that they're not seeing their abundance, being that people think that normal is to be materialistic. There's a whole bunch of things that people are still dealing with. So, I just let them deal with it because any of those thought processes are silly. You know what I mean? Just like we
Right.
talked about all them things with the Christians would call sins, things that you do that do not serve yourself. So you're actually
Mm-hmm.
being your own devil. That's
Right.
a world that I choose not to play in.
Mm.
That's why I said you come from love with everything, and then you're not putting that other side out there.
Mm.
So yeah, I choose not to even think about that devilish stuff because
Right.
I know how massive I am. I know that if I focus on it long enough for 3 minutes, I'm gonna have another idea, and I'm the idea wizard. I'm gonna think about some old fuckery, some bullshit I
Mm.
don't even need to be thinking about. I didn't set
Right.
before to think about how can I rob a bank truck. Why? Because somebody else was talking about it, and so I figured let me solve that problem too. I'm good at that. And why? You know what I
Yeah. Yeah.
mean? I'm like I'm solving a problem that I don't even need. It's not even a problem to me.
Right. Right.
And just like somebody valuing themselves high or low, it's not a problem for me, any of it. Because
Right.
one day I might want the low dude, one day I might want the expensive dude. But in my line of business, I didn't pay for a lot of expensive stuff that I didn't really think it was worth it.
Mm. True
Many
that.
things. I didn't have many
True that.
dinners in the hundreds of dollars, and it was only two of us, and I'm like, they gave me some little freaking when I was eating meat, it was some cutlets. That was
Yeah.
the only thing on the plate. And then they gave me another plate of some more little tiny stuff. And I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
You know?
You
So
was
it's
eating
all
them.
about
Them.
your aesthetics of life, period. So I don't put
Yeah.
a good or bad on anything, brother. It is what it is. And
Yeah.
people say that all the time, but they ain't living it.
You're right, man. You're right.
Yeah, they're not
And
living it.
people, I say that all the time too. People, because I love that quote, "Live or let live." But a lot of people, uh, they're not living and they're not letting other people live either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because
It's
they think
like,
it's normal, man. They think that
right,
that living that they're doing is normal, and it is normal for them if that's the life that they choose. And I allow them to choose it too. You could be the master fucked up guy. It
right.
doesn't matter to me. That's you. That's you. You got
You
your
give
path.
awards for
You
that.
doing it. I'm just not gonna be there with you, and I'm not gonna think about the things you think. People like, oh, imagine this. I don't want to imagine no effery. I'm not doing it.
Right,
No, I'm cool.
right.
I ain't thinking of no crazy stuff. Imagine if we got hit, but no, I'm not thinking about none of that.
Mm,
Why are we wasting our time with any of that stuff? We should only think about
yes,
what we want. That's what this life is all about.
absolutely.
Keeping our mind in focus. The man who got a focused mind got a beautiful life. And it
Facts,
has nothing to do with materialistic or none of that other stuff. A man who focuses
facts.
his mind can walk in the room and make everybody speak to him because he
Mm,
knows thyself. Know
mm,
thyself. That has been taught to us for years, and we're not always doing it. But I love
mm.
everybody who is. So I'm gonna focus on the wants and the loves. So I appreciate all
That's
of
it.
y'all out there living that way. Maybe that should be the way we bring up things. We should bring them up in appreciation and say that we like the opposite. Like so, if somebody was I want the young brown ladies to stop wearing these damn weaves. I really do. It's almost like what they tell white people about black people. Once you go black, you never go back. Once you get a weave,
Mm,
you don't never got let your natural hair fly long enough to even call it a weekday. You know what I mean?
mm.
So it's that same thing. I wish they would just let that stuff go. So what I should talk about is so happy to see these people with these wonderful natural hairstyles
That's it. I
because
was about
that's
to
what
say you
we
just
want.
transmute that thought.
Yeah, we think in a sarcastic way all the time. We're always thinking about the bad more than we're thinking about what we want. So I
Yeah.
think that will be a good lesson tonight to keep balance. To start thinking about what you want and not what you don't want, and speak of it all the time. Speak of it more than you ever spoke about it, and watch how your life
Mm.
converts. It changes up, man. It'll be a beautiful day. That's why I say be great on everything. You ask me how my day is, man. I could have just. Well, I'm not going to even write a story that nothing bad happened to me because it doesn't. All the good things happen to me. So you can't really ask me no question like that because I'm gonna laugh at you. Like I don't know what that. I didn't write that story. What if well, you
Right,
could
right.
get shot too? What if you got shot in the drive-by? I'm not writing that story. My story is so dope that I will leave that place 15 minutes before the drive-by happened. That's not my
Mm.
timing
Right.
because I ain't writing
That's
that story. So people got to start writing some wonderful stories because
that's
we
it,
all
man.
got these magic pens, brothers. We all got a golden pen, man. Start writing the
Yes.
golden pen. Write down on the golden pen on what you want and start walking towards it. Act it out every day and give love first on every situation. And all this shit'll play out, man. This is the
Yeah.
easiest, funnest life ever, man.
It's so fun, right?
So
So
fun.
fun.
I be like, you took yourself away from this. You really didn't know what you was in. You thought you was
Right.
in the boogeyman car. You thought, just like when you was telling me the story earlier about your dreams, I wanted to intervene, but you wasn't letting go
Mm,
because when your body is high, man, you're almost in that state where you can manifest really well because you can
mm.
focus your energy really well. But if you don't focus your energy, have you noticed that when you're high, you go on these tangents? You're always thinking about this and then that and then this and that. That's what your
Yeah.
dreams was doing because you didn't
Yeah.
sit down and do the Neville Goddard and put a focus in on your mind for long enough right before you went
Mm,
to sleep so that you lived it through. So when you went to
mm.
sleep, you just went to sleep because you was tired or you was just high the hell.
Right.
And
Right.
then
Right.
your mind just ran around. All it wanted to do. So you let the dog loose again,
Right. As
inside
opposed
the
to when
heaven
I
gates.
was excited to go to sleep because I wanted to finish flying, so I had to focus on that already. As opposed to that.
Yep, you
See
focused
what you're
it,
saying?
and you gave it gratitude for it to allow it to happen because you were so excited. You give life excitement, and you see what you get back. You get back what you manifesting.
Man, that's
So
deep.
you did it, but you also let go. You also let go and allowed it to be because you call yourself a human being. So we be right. So you allowed
Mm,
it to be, and then you was over there. You know.
mm,
And I'm gonna use another herb on that. That's mugwort. Get some mugwort. It'll help
mm.
take you there. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
put a little satchel of mugwort right beside your bed. I stuck it in some old stockings that I found in my mom's room. Stuck it in
Mm.
there, just set it beside me, and I fell asleep, and I was able to travel the second day. I was able to
Wow.
control my dream. It was pretty cool. And then I got
I've heard
really
that before, but I
addicted.
never tried it before.
Yeah, it did it. It did it with me just sitting beside my bed. But then I wanted more because I'm a wanted more person. I'm not really a habit type person, but I do want it more. And I I tried. I drank the tea and had it beside me. And then I was
Mm.
the tea. The tea actually made it even better. But I just didn't try the tea first time. But
Mm.
mugwort is a good one if you want to get into that lucid dreaming. But
Wow.
really, the biggest thing is like you said, pre-pave it, expect it to be. Get excited
Mm.
about it. Ask for it to come in. That means that you are now an allowance for it to come in. So you're not
Mm.
restricting it, holding yourself back, being your biggest enemy. So
Mm.
yeah, but you let it come in, and once you let it come in, then you start doing your little practicing with it, and then you practicing mean that you with steady times of it of focusing your mind on one situation, being there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I understood exactly what you said, but that's how I heard it in that same explanation I
No, I
just gave.
love that. I love that. I appreciate that breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what would you suggest to my brother Curtis? He's still in here. I thought he dropped out.
Okay.
Uh, because basically that's what he's dealing with. If I'm not correct, right, Curtis, you're 48 straight days of watermelon. Let me just say, big props to you for that. Most people can't go 4 hours, 8 hours, or 48 hours. So for you to go 48 days, that takes some level of commitment, bro. So for you to say you're struggling, dude, I would say, maybe it's just a break time or something.
Thank
I
you.
wouldn't say a struggle already. You won, bro. You've been won. You're on to your next level and beyond, bro. You went somewhere where a lot of people you're in the watermelon washout. You've seen
Yeah.
people there's a lot of people that haven't went 20, 30 days, 48 days of straight watermelon, bro. You gotta look at yourself a lot better than that, bro. If you think that you failed because you're having a tough day, bro. So what advice would you give to my man Curtis
I
for having faith?
I would give him that competitive ego thing. I would say your body knows when it wants to stop. When your body
Mm.
wants to stop. So instead of fighting your body, allow yourself to just be and stop. And then you can go into what you spoke about earlier, how you mono every meal. So it doesn't have to be watermelon. Because perhaps
Mm.
his situation is his body's just tired of watermelon. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? He could just want to break it back down and get some grapes and try some of this and try that. He may want to
yeah,
go there before he rides
right,
out and tries to go back to whatever he wants. But no
right.
matter what, he did it for 48 days. So now he can sit and talk about it, give it gratitude into his life, tell other people so that they can be like asking him questions, and then he can start feeling really good about himself. And then he say, okay, I did 48. Next time I'm doing 52.
Exactly.
Because he
That's
already
great
know
advice.
he did 48. I already ran the mile in the record time.
Man,
So what do I
it'll
do
be
next? And that's where the excitement is. So really it's just taking your energy to the love place, to the
yeah,
place that's
man.
going to be fun instead of taking it to a place where you actually feel you're struggling. And then you really
Mm.
don't want to speak it, even though I'm happy you spoke it so we can tell about it, but you really don't want to speak it to too many people. Only because your sales are now telling you no, it's time to quit because you're
Mm.
speaking it. But it's
I
all
love
good to
that,
quit
bro.
because you're allowed to be. There ain't nobody tell you to do nothing but you. So let your body tell you that, nah, I'm good right now. Thank you for helping me reset. Cause shit, you reset in a couple 20 something days. So you didn't reset it twice now.
Yeah,
Yeah, so his
absolutely,
body
bro.
is now his body is producing cells from good material.
Yeah,
Yeah, so he
absolutely,
should that's something to be happy as could be about, man. And to go out there and
man.
tell people and celebrate that shit. Don't celebrate with no alcohol though, but celebrate that shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and get online and start telling people what you did. Cause remember, there's some people who can't even go one day without that bullshit.
Facts.
You
That's
know what I
great
mean? So
advice, man.
love is love,
Great
no
advice.
matter how it comes.
right?
You ain't got to
And his
break no
name is
records
Curtis
out
Love.
here. Excuse me.
And his name is Curtis Love. You know,
Yeah, man. I'm giving him love, man. This is what I do. So I love me. So I'm gonna always tell you from my point of view of how I love me. So I'm gonna give you my way I would think about doing it.
yes,
Like, yep,
absolutely,
that's all. But
all right,
he all right,
absolutely,
man. Let it be his
Curtis.
last day. Put his little checker flag up and be celebrate that shit.
Yeah, and then
48 freaking days.
that
That's
happens in
dope
my
as could
group all
be.
the time.
He beat my
People will
record
make it. Yeah,
because
you know
I
what I
ain't even
mean.
tried to do it yet.
That's what I was just about to say. I was like, I haven't done it yet, but I still feel like I'm the greatest. Okay, I've
If I
never
want to
ate
be,
anything longer than 7 days. You know what I'm saying? So outside of that, I couldn't tell you what that was like, but I can probably imagine what that's like. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
But my body does not want that. You know what I'm saying? There's times where I'll be eating grapes. It just happened to me at the start of this month. That where I was just eating watermelon. We did the 3 day. It actually jumped into 4 or 5 days because we bought so many watermelon, right? So I was on it for
yes,
5 days until my body started wanting other things. Then I went to grapes, and then we went to other different types of melons. And then we went to juice for a couple of days, right? And then after a couple
yes,
of days, my body started feeling for watermelon again. It was like, man, I need some watermelon again. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So that's me being in tune with my body. That's me being in tune with my body and listening to my body, and my body's telling me what I need. Dr. Sabi
yes.
used to call it chemical infinity. Okay, when you're getting everything you need, you know what I'm saying, and your body is picking and choosing what it needs. Okay, to be able to, who knows, your body can use it to build enzymes, cofactors, things like that for your body. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? You're not you're I was going to say you're not more intelligent than your body, but you're not separated from that. You are part of that intelligence. When you listen, when you're commanding, like Derrell said, when you're commanding your cells, right? Because you're the driver of those cells. You're the driver of your body. You know what I'm saying? So your thoughts create your reality. Literally, your thoughts create your reality.
Literally,
So when I
yeah.
start when I start having cravings, I was trying to explain this to somebody else before. When you start having cravings, when I start having cravings now, I start having cravings for healthy things, other healthy things. Like when I know that my muscles are getting a little thinner and I'm feeling a little weaker, I need some healthy fats. I need some avocado. I need some walnuts. I need some pumpkin seeds. I need some quinoa. I need some stuff like that to give me some amino acids. You know what I'm saying? Or some healthy fats. That's what my body's more feeding for. It's saying, okay, if you've done enough mono, okay, and it's also telling me that those melons gave you the hydration that you needed, gave you the cleansing that you needed, but maybe didn't give you the minerals that you needed. Okay. Now, when I can tell you this thing, once you get used to putting over 92 minerals in your body, those cravings will be less for those other things because you feel like eating watermelon is a bonus. When I'm taking my supplements, there's times me and Monica, we take our supplements and we'll just be drinking juice. And they be like, how can you just guys just drink juice for a couple of days? It's like because we're taking our supplements too. We're making sure our minerals are taken care of. Once you take care of those 90 minerals a day and get that chemical affinity, okay, it says chemical affinity is like herbal synergy. When you're mixing things together to give you that full vitality. So if you look up watermelon, it's not even the healthiest fruit. Me and Monica, we challenge each other all the time. We challenged each other a couple weeks ago. I was saying watermelon's not even the healthiest fruit. He was like, "What's up there pretty high?" And we was looking at it. It was like 11th. In another study, it was like number 4. Okay, behind the same ones all the time. Blueberries, apples, other things like that are more healthier than the watermelon. Okay. The reason why watermelon is so great and is so big right now is because of the hydration factor. Okay. Most people, if you look at the stats, are severely dehydrated. It's like ridiculous if
Yes,
you look at the stats. I'm talking about over
constipated.
80% of Americans are severely
Yeah,
dehydrated. So when you talk about
yeah,
watermelon and giving you those electrolytes, you're filling that other part of yourself that you're lacking and that we've been lacking. Okay. When in the wintertime, most people are what? Vitamin D deficient. I gotta get vitamin D because the sun ain't out. It's not just that. Okay.
yes,
It's we are severely dehydrated and we're lacking.
we are.
So, what do you think is going to happen in the summertime when you're really supposed to need some hydration? You're that same dehydrated person from the wintertime, but now it's summer where it's hot. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't. Here's another thing that trips me out too. A lot of people don't like to sweat. A lot of people don't like to detox. A lot of people don't like to take a shit. Okay, how else is all that waste going to come out of your body? How else?
Uh, I tell you,
How's it
zits,
going to get eliminated?
eczema, uh, blackheads, all that stuff, man. All that
You
stuff
said it.
that be coming out your skin. That's where it's
Facts.
gonna come out at.
Facts.
Yep. People don't understand. It's gonna come out of your eyes. It's gonna come out. It's gonna come out everywhere.
That's
I
what
mean,
I'm
because you
talking about. You
get
see what Curtis
jaundice
is saying now?
when you can't move your bowel.
You see what Curtis is saying
Excuse
now?
me.
That's that Curtis that I'm used to right there. He said, I'm great. That's your word right there. I'm great. And I know it. High level
Yeah.
shit.
Yep. Yep. He's there.
And that's what you tell
He's there. He
yourself.
don't.
Well, it
You
doesn't
know.
matter if we dig it or not. That's what you tell yourself every day, Curtis.
Every day. Because love you for everything. You love you for one day. Love you for 19 days of it. Love you for 48. Period.
Fact.
You know.
Fact.
You're a No, I ain't gonna say a monster. I using them words that they be putting in this. No, he's great with that, man. I'm feeling it, man.
Yeah.
I like that we can even speak to somebody on the level who, he thought something was, man, you perfectly fine. Everything is always perfectly fine. We need to get some DMT out here. No, I'm just playing. Um, but yeah, man, DMT definitely proved to me that everything is always fine. That was the whole energy
Fact.
of it.
Yeah.
Every time I came back from it, I'm like, damn, everything is already fine. It's telling me not to worry all the time, even though it's not saying it in words. It's like telepathy. It's almost putting it inside of you. You kind of, it's like a knowing more than you heard a voice. You just can be
Yeah.
able to spill it out. You're like, damn, that information just came out in the conversation. That was wild. Yeah,
Wow.
but you
Yeah.
find out
I
that
was going to
everything
ask
is
you.
always all right, and so that's
I was going to ask you about the
go
DMT
ahead.
because I never had it. Okay, I never. And I remember you and Cuz talking about it. Um, but when I
Yeah,
hear people talk about it, it sounds a lot like one of my lucid dreams. I had dreams where every single word, because I used to rap and I used to perform. It's
yeah,
like I'll break out into a freestyle just to test myself. Every word is flawless, bro. It's like I know the next bars before while I'm still spitting the same bars. I don't know if this has ever happened to anybody out there like you guys, but it's
yeah,
just like
yeah.
things are going to be all right. You can see things. You can be like, man, why was I
It's that
even worried
connection.
about that? That's it. That
Ju-
those are that's kind of how my lucid dream was when I was able to control them. So
Yeah.
is it something like that, or is it something deeper?
Yeah, it has that in it. It has strengths of that. So it gets a little stronger, but it's similar to that. Yes. The most amazing part, which I would rather have a whole video on it, but the most amazing part was the part of I heard off of a scientist one time about these little things going into these little holes, and only when you observed them was they really going into the holes. When you didn't observe them, they wasn't going in the holes. Well,
Mm,
it's sort of like that. Like you, your mind picked up a chair, but you're clearly looking at it in your mind's eye, and it ain't nothing but some energy. It don't look like
mm,
nothing until you want it to look like a chair. But when soon as you say it's a chair, it'll show you a chair in, I can't even say a
uh,
split second because it's not even a split second because you didn't see it happen. You just know it happened.
mm, mm.
Yeah, so everything over there is just energy, and it only turns into what you want it to be when you look at it. It's
Wow,
really
that's
dope.
creation.
It's
That's
really
creation
dope.
at the highest level right there.
Yeah, it's really dope. You could tell that this is an ether situation.
Mm.
Yeah, it's really cool. In your mind's eye can see better than your eye.
Yeah.
That shit clear as hell.
Wow.
And it
That's
gets to
dope.
be like a kaleidoscope type deal sometimes. You can have that. I've been over there 6 times. And
Mm.
but one time it was a kaleidoscope. My last time it was more kaleidoscope. And then I found out I was controlling everything. And the coolest part is when I was coming back down, I kind of got a little sad. Now this is happening in just instances. There are more feelings than me saying getting sad. But I got sad, and all of a sudden, before I can really get sad good, there was a there was a download that told me would change it. Well, it
Mm.
didn't really say change it either. It just gave me that notion of change it, and I was able to stay over there like 5 6 minutes longer, just because I
Mm.
found that I was in control of that too.
Wow.
And that's why I get mad when somebody say life ain't perfect.
Mm.
We've made all the we made all our own choices. Nobody has punched the wall without thinking about it first. Nobody has kissed a girl without not thinking about it first. So we
Mm.
are in control of every move.
Mm.
So to me, that is a perfect life because nobody's telling you no, you're not restricted. You could really do everything you freaking want to do.
Mm.
You know, the police. If you think the police is going to stop you, don't think about the police.
Mm.
Think about getting in there, and you'll get in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I know that to be true
Yeah.
because I
So
rode
just
around for half my life without a license. I just acted like I had a license, and
that's
nobody
all
ever
you got to
questioned.
do. This whole thing is an act. You act out everything. You act out a millionaire to be one. Everything here is
Fact.
acting it out. When you prepave your day, you go and say what you're gonna do in your day, and you start acting it out. And if you will watch it fucking play out to the fucking max, just
Fact.
because you acting it out the whole time. And then don't let nobody disturb you, take you off of your act. Don't make nobody because they forgot their lines. Fuck them. Keep acting that shit out,
Word.
and
Word.
your day will go magnificent. In fact, I don't be even knowing how fucking great my day get. I be using these weak ass words like great and magnificent because I just don't even know the words for this shit.
Mm. Fact.
I'm just being real about it.
No, you
That's how
fact.
great the day could be.
Facts.
Cause
And
it's great as heck. I woke up, I had nothing but fun the whole day I was over here. My Earth suit is 52 years old if you want to count these things that they're counting as years, and I'm feeling like I'm 14.
speak
You
on it,
know,
bro.
I hear
Speak
people
on it.
talking about stuff that I'm not speaking about. I'm speaking about my body being wonderful and great and healthy and well. And they're speaking about hurting and all this other stuff. And I'm like, what the heck? Maybe it's y'all
Yeah.
conversation with
Yeah.
yourself.
I love that. I love that, man, because me and Monica was just down here when we do this workout, this leg workout thing that she does. And I was just
Uh-huh.
thinking about that right in the middle of it as we was doing this squat, right? It's like a dance move, like you're down real low and you're like going side to side and you're working your legs, right? And we put our own little twist in on it. You know what I'm saying? Like it almost looks like we're making up a dance routine together. And I was just thinking, I was like, I usually don't think about my age, but I was like, man, like I was just laughing because I was like, I didn't do this shit when I was in my 20s. You know what I'm saying? Even though I could, but it's like I'm loving life right now because I can literally do things that I never even thought about doing, like with my body and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? How low I was getting to the ground. I was like, look at me. You know what I'm saying? Like you said,
Yeah.
my earth suit is 47 years old. You know what I'm saying? And it allows me to
Uh-huh.
do all this stuff. It's just like
Yeah.
it's amazing to me, and
So
I don't ever want it to end. You know, and that's sort of
yeah,
that's
so
how I
how
think
great
about
is
it.
that, man?
Huh?
How great is that?
That's just
How great is that? So when
amazing.
somebody says, "Hey, man, what's up, Tiger? How's your day?" and you say, I'm hanging in there," I want to smack the shit out of you. I'll be like, "No, you ain't. Your day was fucking fantastic like mine. You just forgot to look at all the fantasticness in there,
Yeah,
like you just said. Man, I'm recognizing how good I can move, and
yeah, yeah.
it just turned you on. You was in love with your life, wasn't you?
Right.
And that's
Yeah,
why I always say, come from love all the time.
yeah. And gratitude, man.
Yeah,
Be
because you come
grateful
from
for what
love,
you're
dude.
able to
No
do.
matter what, it's a beautiful day.
Fact.
Yep.
And I think that's a great way to
And
end it off.
nobody's gonna give you
Oh,
nothing
sorry.
else.
But
Yes,
yeah, no,
it is, bro. It's a great way to get off.
yeah, it's a great way
It was a
to,
wonderful conversation as
lead,
always,
lead
man.
with love and end it with love. But
Yeah,
another great
love at all
conversation,
times.
bro. Another great
Yeah,
conversation. I
man.
know
It's
we.
almost like one of them sword fights, and they sword fighting each other, and then in the end they smack swords and they walk away.
That's it. That's it.
That's
So
what we doing, man. That's what
facts,
we
facts.
doing. We're in a sword fight. We go, and I
But yeah,
appreciate Nick who came through and
I was
got
about to
on
say, shout out to
without
Nick.
us,
He came through and he was dropping jewels, man. My
man.
boy is deep.
Man, he's doing
He
big things inside of his realm, man.
yeah,
He's allowed that old man to come into his life, and he's made a new man many times, man.
facts,
He's
facts.
made a new man many times, and he made a new man out of the horse, man. He made a man
Mm,
out of a horse
mm,
because he was doing heroin. He was doing
right,
heroin and got his man back. That's
right,
dope shit,
right, man.
literally.
You know what I mean? Big shit.
I mean,
Big
that's
shout to
love right
big
there,
shout to
man.
Nick.
That's
And we're
like
gonna
your boy Curtis on his 48 days. That's love, man.
yeah,
You did
facts,
that and lived to tell somebody about that shit so that they can do it too. I can do it too. Do it too.
facts.
Remember that, Jam? Yeah, man,
Yeah.
that's beautiful, man. So that's why I give him love on that, man, because he has a story that, guess what? Vaughn can't tell you that story. Derrell can't tell you that story because I don't have that one.
Yeah.
But I
No,
appreciate that.
our
Just
stories
like
are
I
different.
appreciate yours, my brother.
It's all
Yes,
love. It's
everybody's story
always
because we're
love,
all
bro.
uniquely ourselves.
We're
Always,
all,
man. And you
we're all
please tell
having an
Monica I
experience.
said hello. And that boy, it'd be nice to see y'all again because I want some juice. I be seeing that juice. It looks so good. And y'all be seeing the
Man,
mushrooms and it looks so good. So we got to do something.
yeah,
But
definitely,
no, I'm just
definitely.
clowning. But
We're supposed to no, we're
yeah,
supposed to be coming back in
there's healthy
July. You
people
know, I
here, but
already
they
know I'm
ain't
gonna hit
living
you
it.
up. You already know I'm gonna hit
Yeah,
you up. We're supposed to be
always,
coming
man.
back in July. We're supposed to be coming
Okay.
to visit in
Okay. Well,
July.
I'm all
So
ready for
coming
that.
up.
I'm gonna have to share some of them days, them energy moments with you guys.
Please
And,
do.
and
Please
peace
do.
out to everybody who followed us, even for 5 minutes. I love you all, because you
Fact,
are me. Um,
fact.
you know what I mean. So yeah, just all did good, brother. And thank you for having me once again in your life. And I appreciate you reaching out. And however we did this last connect, I'm happy about it, man. So
But
thank
we
you
need to
for it.
keep doing it. We need to keep doing it. I just want
You
to say
gave
one
me
thing before you go.
another comrade in this.
Yeah, I just want to say one
You
thing
know.
before you go. We're gonna keep bringing. If you're out there watching and you watch this later, we're gonna keep on bringing Derrell on. He was here by popular demand, and I want to keep bringing him in here. And also, uh, Curtis, Curtis Love. I know whenever you're ready, bro. We already talked about it. You know, I'm getting the summer transformation. I want to get transformation stories. You literally have a transformation story that, if you don't mind, we want to talk about it, family. And also, Nick, we've been talking for a while too. We've been talking in the background a lot, and we're definitely ready for your story, man. I don't know what you was worried about
Yeah.
before, man. You got up here, you spoke your mind. It was real. It was raw. It was impactful, bro. And I definitely, I can't wait to hear the rest of the story now. And I
Yeah.
know, I don't just think I know that it's going to help a lot of people that have been down that road. Because let me tell you, I ran into that problem where I was thinking I was helping people with food addiction, and they was dealing with some much harder things. Not that food addiction is not hard to deal with, but I'm talking about they're on heroin, they're on drugs, they're on some type of thing. They ain't thinking about no shit like that. They're not even thinking about
Food is
no food.
fourth in line now.
Facts.
Yeah.
So for like Darrell said, for you to punch through, bro, big shouts to you, family. Big shouts. Um
Yeah,
so
man.
so
I
yeah,
can't. Yeah, Nick's
be looking
story's
for
good.
Nick's
I'm
story.
excited about Kurt.
Yeah. So
Yes.
yeah, so
Hey, man,
facts. So
manifest
family.
that and write
Now
that story with him on Sunday, man.
so now for you, family. I appreciate you, man, for coming in here, dropping your jewels. I feel like, man,
Hey,
you should be a co-host on some of these, man. Like you should be coming on,
I'm down with it, bro.
we
You just hit
and
me
we
up,
do this
man.
regularly.
You get me in my zone.
We need to do this more
Well, man,
regularly, man.
I love
You
and
got a lot of
appreciate you
experience and a
because you
lot of things
using
to
me.
say.
You using me in my zone, and I love that. When another man another one of you, another God knows your zone, and they use you for what you're great at. I think it's a magnificent thing.
Word
And
up.
so thank you for that, because you're using me for what I'm great at. You always tell me about my greatness when I'm always telling everybody else about theirs, and you kind of forget about yours sometimes
Man,
at
that's the
where
way
you're
energy
you're the
works.
bomb at. Cause yeah,
Especially
so
when you're
thank you
always
for always
practicing
being
it.
there for that.
Especially when you're always
Always, man. I
practicing it.
live it,
You're always
man.
applying. You
Yep,
know what I'm saying?
yep.
So
And helping other people apply.
so it's
But it's
reciprocal,
love,
man. You
man.
all
So thank you for
you
having me.
facts. All right, family.
And
Peace
and
out to
all
everybody
right,
out
man.
there. See
Stay
y'all
great.
next time. We'll continue the
Yep, and everybody
conversation.
be great.
All right. Be great. Peace.
All right.